Welcome to the A7FL playoffs live from Asbury Park, New Jersey. It is the 6th-seeded QC Crush going up against the 5th-seeded East Orange Renegades as these teams face off one more time in winner-go-home season with a potential showdown in the Eastern Conference semifinals awaiting them. Hello again, everyone. I'm Matt Ryan, joined in the booth by my friend and yours, Corey Hammond. Corey, a lot on the line in a big rematch today. QC Crush have a lot to prove, but can the Renegades hold on to the momentum they've built this season?
Well, they've built a full team, too. So they've built momentum, and they've built a team that I think they believe can win in the playoffs. They are the 4 seed playing the 5 seed QC Crush in a rematch of a game they've already won. And the QC Crush, they're enjoying New Jersey. They were just at Seaside Heights last night, enjoying the boardwalk a little bit. But they're going to have to deal with this man in the passing game. And we saw Anthony Service play a lot of really good football early on, but it's been a little bit of a rough go of it. No better evidence of that. The last time these two teams played, Service had 4 interceptions, which really kept the QC Crush in the game. For me, the key to the Renegades is making their quarterback feel comfortable, and whether that's setting up a running game that will allow for play action and him to take advantage of wide open receivers, or just not adding too many attempts to his plate for today's game. The Renegades are going to look for a bounce back game from a guy that we thought early in the year could be a rookie of the year candidate. He's made it to the point where it's a question if they even really want them in a position where he has to win the game for him. Now, on the other side of the ball for the QC Crush, they're kind of playing with a little bit of house money. Keno Thomas, a playmaker who may know him from the Sin City Chaos, now playing with the QC Crush this year, he's able to make plays when given the opportunity. Really, the difference for me in the QC Crush, if they can get blocking for their playmakers and keep this very enormous the towers that are the defensive line for the Renegades out of the backfield, it will give the Crush an opportunity to play good football. And you see Drew Ruffin there with an interception. He's going to be a big guy. Another big guy, guys, Ametrius Hall, the wide receiver. The last time he was on this field in the playoffs, he was making big plays for the Heist against the Patterson U. And I don't know if you guys want a Patterson U Watchman kind of real quick news flash update.
Hit me with that update. Let us know what's going on in Baltimore as the Watchmen and the U battle.
From my sources, 32-25 right now in a really tough game all 4 quarters so far. But the Watchmen currently have the lead, if my information is correct. But getting back to this game, this game was not a blowout, even though the final score looked a little bit out of sorts. You see there, third quarter, 12:39. It was 13-12. It was really later on in this game when the East Orange Renegades kind of piled on. And if the QC Crush want a chance to win this, they're going to have to play defense in the passing game like they did a couple of weeks ago when they had 4, again, as a reminder, 4 interceptions. And I'll be honest, the wind's going to do them no favors if you're the Renegades trying to pass either into the wind or with the wind at their back. 25 miles per hour is what we're hearing.
And the team with the 7th scoring offense in the league, along with the 6th scoring defense in the A7FL, the QC Crush, they have 0 net points so far on the season, Corey. They're 8th in net points because they've both allowed 25.8 points per game and scored 25.8 points per game. Is this a chance for them today to break stride and break out with the biggest spotlight in QC Crush history upon them on the other side of this? But folks, when we return on the A7FL playoffs, it's time for the most exciting play in football. It's time for the 3-on-1 throw-off. East Orange looks to be starting the game with the ball. What happens next?
Perfecto.
All right, great. All right, over.
Do we know who's got what where?
We're going to try to do a scene read out of this break.
Scene read out of this
Scene out?
break.
Okay, you got it. Come on, girl. Show me.
Okay.
Hold on. Watch this out of Baltimore, 32-31. Baltimore defeats the Patterson U as an era ends in Maryland. Baltimore will move on in the A7FL playoffs, and it's time for the East Orange Renegades and the QC Crush to seal their fate. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond. The Renegades in white. An opportunity here for an opening play touchdown. Will not get beyond the 37. First and 10 for the Renegades. That's number 0 returning it for East Orange.
They got a shoe.
Who steals a shoe? Really?
I don't know.
But when it comes to action here on A7FL.TV and across A7FL, whether you're on DAZN internationally, Fox Soul, Triller TV Plus, Fight 24/7, we're so glad you're joining us here on a beautiful but breezy Sunday in Asbury Park. Anthony Service leading this offense onto the field in those very, very, very velvety whites.
Looking clean, looking fresh. The thing about white jerseys, though, Matt, they will betray you if your offensive line doesn't keep you clean. Now, no grass stains, but you can get that dark black stain from this turf field.
False start on the offense. And Corey, look at the beef on the QC Crush line. A massive amount of humanity.
Yeah, well, you guys had a lot of fun, you and Rob, week 1, while I was playing the earlier game against Octane with my guy, the red-haired fella. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but
Rob and I, if we went through the fusion dance, yes,
exactly.
75.
So first and 15 after the false start.
The handoff met immediately. Mo Francis.
And Matt Ryan with a great tackle on the play. I'm sorry. I'll just do that one time, and that'll be. Is it Rob Ryan or is it Matt Fabian?
Matt Fabian.
If it
was Rob Ryan, there would be. You know what? I'm not even going to go down that road. I'm not even.
Exactly.
But watch here on the replay, the handoff to Francis, and immediately sees the gap. But great play there by number 40.
And he's going for the ball there,
Trey
too.
Brooks, heads up tackling there.
Yeah, that's a really good tackle.
2nd and 13. And a handoff cuts through to the 41, maybe 42-yard line.
And Mo Francis again with the run. And I'm going to be honest, first 2 plays, that's a really good sign for the QC Crush. The Renegades, when they win games, it's because they dominate in the trenches. And right now, the QC Crush, fresh off a Jersey Shore visit, where I'm sure somebody was eating funnel cake.
Now I want funnel cake. Now you talk about funnel cake. Now I want funnel cake.
Well, your avatar at the defensive line for the QC Crush, I'm sure he had some. But it'll be 3rd and 7 for Service.
Trying to crack through here on the handoff. Service keeps it on 3rd and 7. He's brought down. Big play there. Number 18 bringing it down. That's Soul Holmes, a.k.a. Lee Holmes, taking the soul out of the Renegades offense. It'll be 4th down, Corey.
And they leave him completely unblocked. So if it was a read option there, you'd give it. But on 3rd and 7, that's really just play action to try to freeze the defense. Service a lot of times has the speed to get that edge. Great defensive play from Soul to keep contain and take advantage of the sack. And listen, Service's play in this playoffs is going to be very important for the East Orange Renegades' chances, not only in this game, but even if they do somehow manage to beat this QC Crush, it's not going to get any easier. So at some point in this game, we're going to have to see an Anthony Service that we had seen early on in his A7 career, like week 1. But ever since 11 for 15 and what would have been a game-winning 2-point conversion that was dropped against BIC, the rookie has struggled in tackle football.
It'll be Matt Jackson throwing things off. But, Corey, heading into this week, Keno Thomas reached out to Corey Price. He said it on his Instagram live show, The Price is Right. Hey, you better be playing quarterback, Corey. It better not be Service because we're going to go after him all game. And on this first drive, you can feel that confidence and momentum. That ball will go out of play.
And that's how you execute a 3-on-1 throw-off for the punt. And that's terrible field position. A great play to turn a 4th down into an advantage by changing the field position with the throw-off out of bounds.
The Crush, the last time they faced the Renegades, scored from 98 yards, the largest scoring play, the longest scoring play in A7FL history. Now they have to go 90 to be the first to put 6 on the board. Can Keno Thomas and company do it? A7FL playoffs are brought to you by GatorTech. Get more protected on the field with the Gatorskin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective Shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com, that's GatorTech.com, and use the code A7FL25, that's A7FL25 for 10% off today. 1st and 10.
Great job from the QC Crush on defense to start this game. But what we're going to have to see from their offense is design plays executed correctly. It can't just be Keno running around.
And here's the handoff. And that'll be a gain of about 2. That's Vaughn Hicks on the carry. Hicks, the man who was on the other side of that 98-yard touchdown connection with Thomas, which was the last time these two teams were on the A7FL games of the week in our regular season.
And you can see the sign in the background. The wind's really picking up. So the passing game for both of these teams is going to be tough. Now, in the first quarter, QC Crush and Keno Thomas are going into the wind. So they got to make sure that if they're going deep, that they keep an eye out for the adjustment that they're going to have to make. And here's 2nd and 10.
And 2nd and 7 does not yield any yards. The wind carries that ball. Empty backfield there, Corey. The defense knew what to expect, but
yeah, I like the play design there. It's you get the ball out. This defensive line for the Renegades is one of their, best units, whole team, but especially on the defensive side where sometimes they struggle to cover in the back end. So if you throw the ball on time and get it to your receiver, there are openings. But Keno, more of a playmaker than a tactician at quarterback, completely whiffs on the 6-yard hook, so it brings up 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7, Thomas will get on his bicycle. He will shed one tackler, but he will be brought down far beyond the sticks. It'll be 4th and uncomfortable, and the defenses have set the tone here just under 5 minutes into our first quarter on the A7FL playoffs. Matt Ryan joined here by Corey Hammond in Asbury Park. Let's take a look at the replay.
And this is a really big decision. You see, he almost gets free. Great open field tackle to make sure that you bring the man down, because Keno can make a big play when you give him the opportunity. But huge play call here and deep in their own end, 4th and 2. QC Crusher playing playoff football.
Hicks in motion, the handoff. Can they get the 2 yards?
Gonna be close.
They will mark him at the line, and they will
40.
call it number 40 Brooks, a.k.a. Trey Brooks, gets the carry, and it seems like the Crush, the first to convert on 4th down, and the first to get the first down here today in this playoff matchup.
Well, this is a gutsy call, and it's even a more gutsy run. There's nobody blocking in front of him. It's just 40 and 2 yards that he needs. He gets there, converts the first down, and the QC Crush have it 1st and 10.
Thomas in trouble. Immediate pressure, cuts near the sideline, and he stays in bounds towards the 35. Enough for the first down, though. Thomas and the Crush making something out of nothing, continuing to push the pace against the Renegades defense, who up until this point this season, one of the stingiest in the league, Corey. This is going to be a real interesting showdown.
And Keno Thomas is going to give you 6 or 7 of these a game. That's really the best situation for the QC Crushers, when he breaks contain on the defensive end and has an open lane to run through. But the Crush, if they want to win this game, they're going to have to execute called plays offensively. They can't just have him running around for his life back there.
Thomas throws, caught. Oh, makes the defender miss, but is able to get him on the ground. Might be a moderate loss.
That might be Hall out there on the reception. This time into the wind, they throw the quick hook, the 3-step route. This time Keno's accurate with it. And that's a good 5 yards on first down. You got to stay ahead of the sticks, make sure that your offense can continue to move the ball forward. Against this defensive pressure, you cannot put yourself in a 3rd and long, because that's when the Renegades thrive, is when they can pin their ears back and send their rushers after your quarterback with no concern for the quarterback's health, by the way.
2nd and 5 after the carry.
You see the wind's
the snap, and Thomas will keep it. Thomas tries to get through the first level of defender and gets Irish whipped out of play, and it'll be 3rd down. Could not get past the 40.
If you're going to go to quarterback sweep, I don't know if that was called option or called quarterback sweep. Somebody has to seal the defensive end there. And I know they call number 12 Dog with a W, or he's wearing 8 today. But if you can't find your assignment that you need to block against the Renegades, you might have to get your vision checked, because these guys are enormous. There's no way you're missing that guy unless he's getting right by you. They have to get a body on a body if they want to run plays like that, because right now they're lucky they didn't lose a lot of yards on that one, and it's a 3rd and 5 that they really want to get.
The snap, Thomas fakes the pass, throws deep downfield to the big man. He cannot grab it. A big play for the big man, number 33, Q Vaughn. But Q could not get there. Q drops it, and it will be 4th and 5.
Q Vaughn looking a little like Mo Vaughn, the old Boston Red Sox DH.
Well, to be fair, he looked like... Never mind, I was going to make a Mets joke, but we're not terrible this year. But Vaughn just Q drops, not in the way that you would know them, and it's 4th down for
I mean, he's
Crush.
wide open. Keno puts the ball out there. And I really don't know if it was a bad throw or if he kind of just doesn't have the legs to get there. He's huffing it for sure. Big Rob would be proud. And Cole just confirmed that if Vaughn does score, it does count as we'll call it a TBT. If he gets it into the end zone, it'll be D'Angelo back, not the R&B singer. And if the QC Crush are unable to, I see a redhead out there in cornrows. Shout outs to the hair game.
I promise
in today's
it's
game.
not me.
But they have to get this out of bounds, or it's poor execution if they give them an opportunity.
That bounces, and that's caught. That's a lot. Ooh, let's see where it's called.
It's just down. Just like
it's
a punt.
down. Yeah,
So-
you confuse it because it's a live ball in every other scenario, but that one.
But that one exactly. But
We'll take a brief timeout, and when we return, the Renegades return to offense. So far, it's a defensive stalemate. Who will break first? We'll find out on the other side of this. It's 0-0 with the A7FL playoffs. Stay right where you are. Back here on the A7FL Games of the Week, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to say hi to me and Corey, or let us know what you think of what's going on the field, go to a7fl.com/chat and download Locker Room Chat, the official chat partner of the A7FL. That's a7fl.com/chat. Locker Room Chat. Drop a comment, get a shout out. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond, 1st and 10, with 6:21 left to go in the first. The handoff on 1st and 10, and the big play to get to the 32. Another carry by number 0, and it will be 2nd down.
And they go jet sweep 1st down, try to get, a little bit of running yards here. But I will say this about the Renegades offense. When they have the wind at their back, if they want to throw the ball today, they want to be able to take advantage of it. Because throwing it through this wind, I think it's even gotten worse as the day has progressed. It's good for the back shoulders to let the wind kind of naturally take it and make it a jump ball, especially when you got receivers like, with the height that they got. It's Smalls at the bottom of your screen, it looks like. But Service, 2nd and 5, exactly where you want to be. Let's see what they call on this 2nd down.
Service throws it underneath the Small. Damon Small will break the tackle, and it will take another man to bring him down. Number 11 getting in on the tackle. That's Melvin Broach. 1st and 10. Corey, good call there. Getting it to Damon Small, who has made his own candidacy for Rookie of the Year. As Service seems to have declined, he's stepped up into the spotlight.
And listen, first of all, that's a mismatch in any way, shape, or form. But the reason you get the ball to your guys that quickly in a 3-step drop situation is because sometimes the hardest thing to do for a defense is make the tackle on a guy like this. And he makes the first man miss, and a 5-yard catch turns into an easy 12-yard gain. And the Renegades moving with the wind at their back.
1st and 10, the handoff. That's bouncing inside, outside. Watch the cuts. What a play. What a move. The Renegades on the run from the law. And they don't have very long. They only have 4:33 left to go in the first, but they are moving with momentum, Corey.
Yeah, and that's just a great seal from the offensive line. They go basically just an easy man-on-man blocking, zone run to the left. You press the hole, get the defense to over-pursue, and you cut back. And when you have your hands on the defender, you're going to give your running back space. And when he takes advantage of it once he's in the 2nd level, I think that might be rough in there on the tackle. Maybe one of the best defensive players for the Crush. The Renegades are executing in their 2nd drive and looking like a polished offense so far with this opportunity at it, with the wind at their backs.
Under 4 minutes to go on the handoff one more time, but the Crush defense will get the stop at the line. Number 99 coming in on the stop, and it will be 2nd down.
And that time, the defensive line for the Crush, they get to their gaps. They immediately, as soon as the ball is snapped, they don't mess around with the blocker. They just get to the A, the B, and the C gap, and there's nowhere for the running back to run. They stop it for a 1-yard gain, and it brings up 2nd and 9. Look at this defensive pressure right here. Nowhere to run. They're just playing to keep him inside. Great play from Matt Fabian. and 40 is going to be a big impact player in this game. I remember 40 when he played for the Heist coming here playing against Patterson U a year ago in the playoffs.
Gets the reception, brought it down, and a quick turnaround, and it'll be a first down. That caught by number 11. The Renegades continuing the drive here. That's Jerry Badeston on the catch.
Another stop route, perfectly timed. Service gets to his back foot, steps up, throws a bullet, perfectly placed and timed ball. That's how you get into a rhythm. And I think it's rough in there on the tackle, but not much you can do when you got the big receiver walls you off. The ball's thrown on time and accurately. That's how you execute in the pass game.
Renegades with the momentum here, looking to get the lead. 2:17 and counting in our first quarter. In motion. This will be kept by Service. Service sees the seam. He will cut and pushed out by Keno Thomas, and it will be first down, getting more than the 2 yards they needed. They'll be set up at the 10, and it looks like it'll be first and goal for QC Crush. Pardon me, the East Orange Renegades.
And when your Service and you're starting to feel yourself, he's getting into a little rhythm. He's got the 2 completions. He runs the jet action on third down, quarterback counter, and uses his speed. Little quarterback on quarterback crime there at the end. Keno Thomas making sure that it doesn't become a touchdown. But you see the speed from Service. He's able to get through the first line, gets to the edge, converts the first down, and now it's first and goal. Renegades on the move here, right inside the 10.
The snap and another handoff, but ball falls out. Nope. They'll keep it, but just dropped at the line. Another run by 26, and it will be second down.
Mo Francis, the running back, and he's a big guy. If you let him get to the second level, he's tough to bring down, especially when he gets a full head of steam. But this is how you do it. You seal the edge. The blocking attempt is there on the pull, but they just can't get enough room for him to squeeze through that B gap. 4 yards, it looks like they got on first down. It's still a good run for any means. But actually, that's not a 6, that's a G. They get 0 yards, and it's still second and goal from the 9.5.
The snap, Service sees the opportunity towards the sideline. Tries to get around one defender. He does, but will be forced to the sideline. With 28 seconds left to go, it'll be third down. And this QC Crush defense in the red zone have been answering the call so far, Corey.
Yeah, call me a hater on that because Service has the speed to score on this play. But what he does is he keeps the alley that he's running through so wide that he can't get the edge and get past the defender. If he cuts that up and runs through the arm tackle, that's probably 6 for number 7 for the Renegades. And Matt, that's the first quarter. We're tied 0-0.
At the end of 15 minutes in this winner-go-home game in the A7FL National Playoff Tournament, it's 0-0 in with 45 minutes left to go in this game. Go to a7fl.com/chat. Drop your prediction. We got the second quarter next.
2.
Want to wear the gear you see on the field? Go to where it's always effort over excuses. TPG Sports is the official athletic uniform provider of the A7FL, providing custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages. Get your favorite team's A7FL jersey now at a7flshop.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond the start of the second quarter. In motion, the Renegades on third down, looking to score the first touchdown of the afternoon, and Anthony Service has to go around one set of defenders, tries to go through the second, gets hip-checked like his name is Ovechkin, brought down, and it'll be fourth down.
And I'm not sure, but it looks like they put Richardson at quarterback, put Service in motion to go into that back stack to make it look like it was going to be some kind of like pitchy woo-woo situation. And then they just said, well, whatever, we're just going to try to run it in. But credit the Crush, they're all over this play, back and forth.
Pardon me, that was Richardson,
to stop
not
them from
Service.
get it in. And now the Renegades are faced with another fourth down opportunity. The QC Crush, they got their 4th and 2 earlier on in this game. Now, it didn't amount to much because they later on had to turn the ball over. But
fourth down.
4th and goal, Service now at quarterback.
Service back on his bicycle. He will run this one inside, and he will hit the Service special. Touchdown East Orange, as they will take the lead for the first time in this game. Someone will put points on the board, and Keno Thomas, you know, has got to be frustrated with that. But a flag on the field, Corey.
I don't know what the flag will be. A lot of times when it's back there, it's holding, and it looks like they're walking the down marker back.
So wow. So
that's all. Go ahead, man.
Renegades, that's an egregious, if anything, a hold on that kind of play in that kind of situation. Not what you want to see. It is confirmed holding on the offense on number 54. And for the Renegades, that's got to be a real pain point right now. As you...
Well, and it goes to show you, when he's playing over there, he's the one who sprung it into being a touchdown. Service has the speed, so when you honor his ability to throw the ball, he can get a little loose. But now on 4th and goal from the 15...
Steps up, swatted and knocked away! The Crush defense on 4th down! Get the stop! What a moment! Number 14 swatting that one away. Drew Ruffin knocking it down and getting the Crush a chance to be the ones to take the lead first. Watch here on replay.
Throw can't be any better here. He puts it right where it needs to be.
Oh...
There's no way that could be thrown better from Anthony Service. The 4th and goal opportunity is reminiscent of that 2-point conversion that they missed against BIC, which would have been the upset of the season. And just like that situation, the ball drops to the light blue floor, and it'll be a turnover on downs. QC Crush elated after the penalty and 4th down stop.
Keno Thomas on the toss on 1st down. He's getting through. A big push there, but it will not be enough, and it will be 2nd down. And, folks, if you want, the A7FL playoffs are brought to you by GatorTech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective Shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com. That's G8RTech.com and use code A7FL25 for 10% off today. It's 2nd and 3 after the carry. 12:30 left to go.
It was good execution from Keno on the speed option. He got the ball out early enough. They had space, and Von Hicks, 7 yards on 1st down is good.
The handoff pushes through. Can he get the 3 yards? A flag on the play. Von Hicks on the carry. We'll see if we'll be going back or going forward.
Where it was thrown, that's usually going to be holding. So we'll see what the call is from our white hat, Will Franklin. Wearing a normal-sized hat today because of the wind.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, how would he be able... Yeah, it's holding on the offense, so it'll be 2nd and 13.
That's a drive killer right there. And on 2nd and 3, it's almost better that you just let your guy go like a matador. than to hold them. It's a lot tougher to get that 2nd and 13 than it would have been on 3rd and 4 with a 1-yard loss. But again, the wind being a huge factor, the QC Crush looked to take advantage. The wind's at their back. They're no stranger to being able to be effective this close to their
Thomas
zone.
throws this one deep, and that one carried either away or with the wind. No matter what, it was too out of reach for the receiver. It'll be 3rd down. And you can see the frustration from the coaches on the QC Crush sideline, Corey.
Yeah, I'm a little excited. I keep talking into the play. My bad, Matt. I will do a better job. I promise you. But on that play, Keno's just got to get rid of the ball too early. Throws to a spot because, with guys in your face, he likely couldn't even really, locate where his receiver was going to be. But with that wind at your back, you also have to adjust for the depth that you throw it. That wind will take it an extra 10, 15 yards if you let it. It looks like they're going to call timeout with this big 3rd down. A lot to talk about. Brent Smothers goes in there into the huddle.
And with 11:19 left to go, we take our first timeout, 3rd and 13. And I don't know if we'll be able to take a timeout here on TV, but with 11, We'll stay with the action here. It's a 30-second timeout. So while we have this time, we'll keep you updated on what's going on around the A7FL. Earlier today, the Trenton BIC defeated the Old Bridge Hawks in our first game of the A7FL playoffs to move on. Sorry, Corey, but so glad you'll be here with us in the booth for the remainder of the playoffs. The Silk City Animals with a rout over the Virginia Heathens, 53-0. The Watchmen with a close and contentious win at home against the Patterson U. For the first time in a long time, the Patterson U eliminated in the first round of an A7FL playoff. That one's going to be a lot of conversation this week on In Motion and tonight on A7FL Up Late, or A7FL Late Night. And the carry on first down, the big man, a little thick boy season. Some of the old Snow Tribe offense, number 33 on the carry, and it will be 3rd down. That's Q Vaughn.
Hugh Vaughn is the guy that kind of started this season off at quarterback for the QC Crush in week 1 against the Animals. Made Rob super happy about it. But he's actually effective there because they go 2 offensive line, 4 wide. Normally that's a situation where the quarterback's going to be in trouble, but it brings up 4th and 4. They're going to go for it.
Vaughn carries it on 4th down, gets a plouse over the defender, and he is hurt. But Vaughn will get the first down.
QC Crush 2 for 2 on 4th downs and on runs that could have been stopped for less. This is tackle football, Renegades, not flag. Got to bring him down. But it'll be 1st and 10. Hope he gets back up after missing a tackle there.
He lowered his shoulder there, number 4. One down, I believe that might be... Actually, I'm not sure who that might be, but Vaughn on the replay slips the defender. Found the opportunity in the opening. Oh, he went low. He went low for the tackle against the 290-pound plus Q Vaughn. And inertia got the better of him. And it'll remain 1st down, no penalty on the play.
No, it's a clean play. I mean, we hope that he recovers quickly, and that is a tough hit to take. But the way that you have to make this tackle is with your shoulder. You can't go head first, and that's what we learn in this league. You learn how to avoid situations like that. You got to be in a little bit of better body position to make the form tackle. Q Vaughn's doing what he has to do. He's running through the tackle. Really didn't lead with his head or his shoulder to make it unfair. But the QC Crush will take it. And Keno Thomas will go back to quarterback at 1st and 10.
In Vegas, it's 20-0. Sick with it. Thomas back in, 1st and 10. Thomas gets high-low to flag on the play, though. We'll see what the call is.
When you have 2 defenders tackling a guy at the same time, they have to go for the wrap. That might be the penalty because you see that they hit him with the shoulder. But if you don't go for the wrap, if you don't go for the clean play, it's considered a high-low. And it might end up being free yards for the Crush. Let's see the replay here. They both go for the wrap.
They
I'm
do.
not sure.
It's a clean tackle. Not sure what the call would be. It's holding on the
holding
offense.
So that's what the call is.
So it'll be 1st and 20. They'll go back.
Another drive killer. 2 already in this drive.
Thomas throws this one deep. Caught. Brought down. Is he able to hold on
That's
to
Hall.
it?
That's got to be Hall.
Demetrius hauls this one in, and it'll be 2nd and close. What a play there from the man known as Automatic, number 15, Demetrius Hall.
And, Matt, you said it right. He hauls it in there. We got to check the spelling on his last name because there's a U in it. How does he make this catch? What a play from Demetrius. This time last year, approximately 365 days ago against the Patterson U, the same Demetrius Hall at wide receiver, making the same types of head-top plays.
And we see Thomas on an earlier play.
1st and 10 for the Crush. They're moving the ball after two already drive
Thomas
killers.
launches this one, but out of reach. Could not get that one. Got hit with
adrenaline, Matt. We'll call that adrenaline.
Got hit with the Bette Midler. The wind beneath its wings sent it flying like a Nerf. Remember those Nerf torpedo balls when we were growing up in the late 90s?
And they whistled.
Yep. Got those stuck in on so many
Vortex.
roofs. Yep, so
Vortexes.
many fire escapes.
Look at the catch.
You dream of catches like that. You dream of catches like that. You dream of throwing balls like that.
I dream of guys catching it for me like
exactly,
that wear the same jersey as me. 2nd and 10.
When I come out of retirement, Corey, don't worry.
Well, I thought you were already out there. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's the last time I'll do it.
8:17 and counting. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. Big Rob Fabian on vacation. Shout out to the Fabian fam. But we are here with you.
Where'd they go? They went to the Middle East, or
no? They went to Georgia, I think.
I thought it was a different Georgia.
No, they did not go to the Republic of Georgia, and that one a big rush again. This Crush offense have found a vibe and they have found a rhythm here on this drive, Corey. It is real interesting to see the Renegades defense that we consider to be one of the more elite. Melvin Broach ripping off 10 yards.
Well, the battle is going to be at the line of scrimmage and on the other side of it, because really the weakness of this Renegades defense is their defensive backfield.
Thomas will keep it. Thomas went to the sideline, and he will get sent out of play after a quick gain. And this Crush offense continuing to put the Renegades on their back foot.
And that's, again, look, the Renegades defensive line and linebacker type area on defense is not to be messed with, we'll say. And some people might even use a different word. But they go choice option. The defensive end makes the wrong read, goes running back. Ooh, and my guy at corner gets sent on his back.
Thomas on 1st and 10. He will go for it again. And Keno Thomas will shoot towards the sideline. He may not get the first, but another 8+ yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 2. Thomas and the Crush might be living up to the message they sent Corey Price earlier this week.
Listen, A7 vets are going to have a conniption, one would say, when I say this, because it's not to the effectiveness that we've come used to this other player. But when I watch Keno Thomas play quarterback, it reminds me of when Moon plays quarterback for the U. His ability to be shifty and gain yards in a lot of different ways is really effective. And then he's just good enough as a passer to find
rolls out, throws knocked loose, balls loose, picked up by the Renegades. The football god Sid QC, you're flying too close to the sun on gossamer wings, and the Renegades lasso them down to earth with 5:48 left to go in the half.
Are we giving Q Vaughn the nickname of Icarus, Matt? Because that time they changed quarterbacks. That's another mythology reference, right?
Yeah.
They changed quarterbacks, and then they changed the possession by giving it back to the Renegades.
Let's see again here. We'll take a brief timeout. Watch this. Baltimore and everybody else watching the Renegades and the Crush squabble up. It's the A7FL playoffs. Stay right where you are. Whether you're an easy rider or watching on your phone, we're so glad you're joining us here on the A7FL playoffs. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond on A7FL.TV with 5:42 left to go in the half. It's Anthony Service and the Renegades after a quick turnover as a QC Crush. Oh, the big play to DeAndre Haynes off the toss, and he gets sent down. The big man... Go ahead, Corey.
Well, they try to go shovel pass, but it was completely telegraphed because there's no way they're not trying to hide. That's Kyle Ward in there, number 6. So that's a good sign for the Renegades. But they don't try to hide it in any way possible. There's nothing to keep 40 from playing honest underneath, waiting for the shovel pass that's obviously in front of them. A lot of times when you want to do a shovel pass, you want to disguise it with some kind of play action or misdirection. But I think the running back went the entire wrong way because there's no Service is not even threatening that he's going to be a ball carrier. He's just waiting to give it to Dondre.
Service throws this one deep down field. That
Kyle
is
Ward.
Caught. Kyle Ward. What a play. First target, first catch. Gets him across the Rubicon into the 35. The Renegades, just like that, turn the tide like Che Diaz.
Yeah, and hey, guess what? Listen, you don't have to be a good quarterback when you got a guy like Kyle Ward because, look, this ball's just thrown up and said, hey, you just do it for me. He's got to waits in the air, gets the one-on-one ball. Look, it's not a poorly thrown ball, but there's a reason why Kyle Ward has always been, on whatever team he's on, one of the top wide receiver targets in this league.
Winner go home season. Ward not wanting to go out in the first round like the Patterson U. And a second down will come out of that play. Solid heads-up defense. Kyle Ward getting targeted a second time, but gets checked on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 10, 3:44 left to go in the half.
And it looks like what the Crush are doing with the wind at their backs and Service throwing into the wind is they're almost letting that wind act like a safety, and they're playing short on these routes. So just like you saw on the completion to Ward, the coverage is relatively tight. That time on the stop route that they've hit earlier in the first quarter, they can't connect. Good coverage from Drew Ruffin at the bottom of your screen.
Snap the handoff. And again, the big man, Mo Francis on first down, gets stopped and stifled at the 35.
And there's 40. Again, he doesn't make the tackle. Francis is able to break free. But what he does is he allows for the Crush to rally and get to the line of scrimmage to make sure that even though it was a broken tackle, that run goes nowhere. You see, the blocking isn't poor from the Renegades, but it's not good enough to break Francis free. And Keno Thomas playing both sides of the ball, putting on a little Sterry Codrington for you. Brings up 2nd and 9. Renegades on the move, but a good defensive play to stop him on first for the Crush. This has been a great football game so far.
It's been a fantastic football game, and we have more football for you tonight. Defending national champions will be in action. Service throws it to the corner. Can't get it on 2nd and 9. Heads up defense this time by number 10. That's Deontay Bailey. A big stop there.
And the two best throws so far today for service have been absolute dimes in tight coverage. Look at this throw on the corner route.
Wow.
Puts it right in the breadbasket. Now, good defensive play to kind of get there and good coverage, but the placement of the ball I don't think could be that much better throwing into 25 miles an hour wind. And it looks like we're going to take a break, Matt.
We'll take a brief timeout at the 2-minute warning. It's the A7FL playoffs. More action after this. Can the Renegades score? We'll find out. Stay right where you are. We're back live with the A7FL Games of the Week at the 2-minute warning. It's still 0-0. The East Orange Renegades against the QC Crush, the 6th seed, traveling down against the 5. The Renegades looking to be the first to score.
And in the slot, Smalls, that's the guy you go to in this situation.
You're going to want to go to locker room chat after this play. The throw by Service can't get there. And another big stop by this QC Crush secondary. They sent that prophetic message last week after the playoff matchups were set. And right now, Corey Hammond, their defense of the QC Crush are doing a lot of dirty work.
And on 4th and 9, they throw it to the sticks. And it's a relatively well-thrown ball. You can't really blame Service there. It wasn't poorly thrown. It was catchable. But the coverage is there. The receiver makes an attempt at it and just can't corral it in. But the Crush have shown all heart and a lot of gas. A couple breaks here. We didn't necessarily love the fumble in the last drive.
Thomas snaps the ball, throws it underneath to the screen. Tries to get it past the initial line of scrimmage. The sticks may say 4th down, but it is 1st down. Now 2nd down.
Well, they stopped him. He did not get out of bounds. They said forward progress was stopped.
Vaughn will be an eligible receiver. As we, with 1:48 left to go, look to see the tie broken. Thomas rolls out, gets on his bicycle. Keno Thomas will run to the 45 and get out of play.
The defensive ends for the Renegades cannot allow Keno Thomas to break contain. Again, number 9 quarterback, super smooth, deceptively fast. Reminds me a little bit of prime Kareem Moon. Now, he has zero opportunity to say that he is Kareem Moon based on Kareem Moon's accolades and what Keno is trying to build. But it is a similar play style. So if you force Keno to stay in the pocket and you don't break that contain and allow him outside, you're going to have a good shot at a defense, but would you let him run the ball, he's going to take advantage like he just did there, and it's 1st and 10.
1st and 10, under 2 minutes to play. The throw by Thomas launches a dart downfield, cannot catch up to it. Can the intended receiver? It'll be 2nd down. But, Corey, a question for you. Heading into this half, this is not what anybody expected. A flag on the play, and the Renegades will be sent back. The Crush will move forward, so it seems right there the Crush are the benefit of another penalty. Heading into the half, do you think that the Crush, a lot of people need to reconsider it after all the confidence and a lot of talk about how good the Renegades were? A lot of people said the Animals were ducking work against this Renegades team, and right now the Crush are being able to match them stride for stride.
Yeah, I think if anybody on the Renegades is worried what the Animals are doing, they just won 53-0, and right now...
Snap.
East Orange has got 0 themselves.
The throw deep downfield, and he could have got it if he reached out. Hicks not able to haul it in, and it will be second down.
And that's the tough part when you have the wind at your back. If there's no wind, maybe that's a touchdown. But when you throw a ball in the air like that, the wind has more opportunity to take it further. And a wide open wide receiver down the field is just a waste of an opportunity for the QC Crush. They're going to have to hit on a couple of those, especially in the second half if the score stays like this. But there's still 1:30 left. And Keno Thomas showing a lot of leadership, a lot of guts. I'll be honest, Matt, when we first saw them week 1, I don't think they were even close to a finished product. It's a lot of teams coming together. Got guys from the Chaos, guys from the Heist, kind of coming with this amalgamation of a QC Crush team, an Ohio team.
The snap.
And it looks like they put it together, at least on defense.
They're trying to put it together here. Thomas with the Euro step moves forward, brought down inside the 35. As you said, Corey, just Thomas making that defense have to worry about what he can do if he gets opportunity, and they're able to create space on the line for him to sneak out and just try to move the ball, stop the clock with 1:23 left to go in the half.
And it looked like he got out of bounds, too, which is even bigger because the yardage, obviously, they need. But they need to be able, if they're going to, yes.
I want to paint him. Third and
Third and 5. It's a blank canvas.
Just 3rd and 5. He's the kind of guy you make decorative candles about. The throw to the sideline, that's caught. First down near the sideline, but the clock will still run. That's a pickup by number 8. That's Digi McNear.
Well, and it's an on-time throw again. And Keno's been accurate on those hooks. Now it's inbound, so you see the clock running.
And in Vegas, the Gold scoring on a 3-on-1, making it 28-6 near the end of the first half. Same here, and a timeout called by the Crush. That's their second charge timeout with 55 seconds left to go.
They wasted a full 10, maybe 11 seconds waiting to call the timeout there.
But Corey, they get the ball at half though, so it is kind of playing with house money.
Well, it's not house money when you're up when you're not up though.
That's
you know
fair.
What I mean?
That's fair.
This is going to be their best opportunity because in the second half, I think they start with the ball going back into the wind. That's a good open field tackle. Looks like Ron Brown out there with the tackle. Make sure he can't get out of bounds, and they have to use that timeout.
So
I don't know. They better not put Q Vaughn back at quarterback. Please don't do it to me. All right, he's going to the tight end. Good.
With 55 seconds left to go.
And 55 here, especially if you have the 2 timeouts, it's 1st and 10. You might as well even just spike it because that timeout is so valuable, especially when you have a running quarterback that's going to be able to work the middle of the field if they give him a seam. But 1st and 10, Keno trying to punch it in. They only got 25 to go and 55 seconds to do it.
Thomas with 1 timeout snaps the ball, rolls out in trouble. That Renegades defense shows up for work after the timeout. Got a bit of a reprieve, a bit of a breather, and came back like dragons.
Box, Matt.
Oh, flag on the play, so it'll be...
It's going to be an intentional grounding on the quarterback. They send the extra 2 rushers. They sent 5. Sometimes you're like, oh, they sent 4. No, they sent 5. And when Keno rolls back after rolling a quarter roll to the right, he rolls back to the left. Unfortunately, what he did is he rolled back into the pocket. The rule is, Matt, you have to be outside the tackle box to try to throw it away. Intentional grounding, loss of down, and hopefully they don't call him with a 10-second runoff because sometimes that is associated with a penalty that avoids a sack.
So it'll be 2nd and 20. And you know what? Thank you for that, Corey. That's like the infield fly rule in baseball. It's one of those things where you know it, but you don't really know it. So thank you for that explanation from someone who has seen it and had it called on him quite a few times.
Who has not gotten outside of the tackle box and had to eat it, and I can't throw it away.
2nd and 20, the snap. Thomas with time throws this one. Oh, that is a play. That is a pass interference. Damon
and it
Small.
It's incidental contact, but when you're that big, man, I don't care if your last name is Smalls, you're enormous. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
kick in the door. His number's not 4-4, but Damon, don't you call me Biggie Small, with the big body and the big blunder as the crush are the benefits here of this play.
Look, a lot of times, the job of the quarterback is to give your wide receiver a chance. And he had a chance. It was just taken away from him by a very large defender out there covering him in the secondary. Now, the thing is it's a catchable ball. It's not holding. So pass interference is a spot foul. So the best part about that is now they move up to the 11-yard line. And with one timeout still, this is perfect opportunity for Keno Thomas. If he finds a lane, to be a tough guy, take advantage of it, get vertical, and get into the end zone.
I preferred Banya over a lane, but, to each their own. 1st and 10, 45 seconds left to go in our first half. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. Live from Asbury Park, New Jersey, on a beautiful but breezy day at Asbury Park Stadium.
What do you think Bob Ross would paint on that canvas that you were talking about earlier?
I just want to make an oil painting of him. Just
what would be good if they did the Watchman smiley face with the little drip? That would be good. You got to use the space. If it's a circle, if it's like a sphere like that, you got to use the space. Really breaking it down here in the A7FL first round of the playoffs.
Later on tonight on YouTube, it'll be A7 After Dark. Join me, Zach Morgan, and some friends as we break down a wild and wacky day in the A7FL. For more information on that, follow 3-on-1 Show on Instagram and also the A7FL Instagram page.
I think for sure this is maybe a little tease. For sure, after making sure all the kids are in bed, I may call in and I may use a voice changer. I don't know.
What?
Little trolling never hurt anybody.
The snap. Thomas with 45 seconds left to go. He'll ski. He'll slide. He'll throw. It caught. Will it be a touchdown? Will it be enough? Will they give it to him? They will call him down at the 1-yard line. The clock will stop, but a big play there by Hall, hauling that one in one more time late in the half.
And he doesn't have the yardage to really have an impressive stat line. But if you look at some of the catches that he's made already so far, shout out to Keno Thomas.
He got leveled
by Dondre. And to put a ball out there, it's never going to be that accurate. But now they got a chance. One timeout, 40 seconds on the
snap.
One.
Thomas slides through 2 defenders. He will be brought down hard, and he will not lose the ball. But the clock will run, which is not necessarily a bad thing for the Crush. They have one timeout, and then they'll be able to get maybe 2 to 3, maybe more plays off if they're able to manage their time better, unless they just burn the timeout right here.
Yeah, and Keno Thomas knows that a lot of times he's going to make this move and he's going to get free. But look at the extension from the defensive end. Make sure he's like, get over here. Little Mortal Kombat reference. And the Renegades are lucky because the whistle was definitely blown before that second guy came and made impact. But Keno Thomas is a grown man. He doesn't need an extra penalty when it's 2nd and goal from the 3 timeout. Their last of the half.
So right now it's 2nd and goal. Right now, Corey, the option is get it to the sideline or just run it right in. Do you try to test the sideline at all? Is that something you feel like is the best option?
Listen, you got 3 chances at it, especially if you don't get tackled inbounds and then you're not able to run another play. So what's the weakness of the Renegades defense? Their secondary. He's got to let go of the ball. When he's been successful.
Thomas rolls out. He's going to keep it. He's going to slide. He's going to glide. Touchdown! QC Crush. Find the camera, Keno. From QC to Asbury. The Crush late in the half take the lead.
And in the royal purple, Queen City Crush, he breaks contain on Malik the Predator, number 34, who made the defensive play earlier in the half on Q Vaughn. And you see the sudden movement from Keno there. It's his best ability. And when he gets in the end zone, he knows exactly where to roll to for the camera. And look, Matt Fabian gets another. Let me just say, I'm joking about, guys and whatever. Look, what type of points are these extra points, Matt's, in the playoff games like this?
Championship points, Corey.
And if the QC Crush can't get it in here, they're leaving the door wide open for the Renegades to win this game.
Throws it. That is caught, and it is a 7-0 lead for the QC Crush. And he finds the camera one more time. I don't know what these are. I'm either too old or the rhythm is a dancer for certain. But we'll take, with 19 seconds left to go, Quentin
I think we
Vaughn.
need to reset after whatever that was. But here's the important thing. Q Vaughn comes in, executes the championship point, and what happens after is really, I don't know, it's giving me Carl Anthony Towns vibes for the Knicks.
Hey.
Look, I'm a big Knicks fan, but that's feeling real zesty there. But 19 seconds is plenty for a 3-on-1 return that requires 0 time off the clock.
And if you want to look your best on the field or getting ready to get on the field, TPG Sports is where you want to go. Go to tpg-sports.com. We take a look at the replay one more time. Big play there to 40 Brooks. And I don't know if anybody had near halftime the QC Crush with the lead, but if you want custom athletic uniforms for your athlete, your team, your friend, your family, go to tpg-sports.com. Real Darius chat in the chat saying QC Crush with the upset. He's predicting the Crush walk out of here with the upset. We'll see what happens here. A flag on the throw off. We'll get a dead ball run. Not necessarily what you want, Corey.
No, not with an untimed down and a chance to completely erase all the good work that the QC Crush have had. And listen, Kyle Ward, it's not the one.
No, Kyle Ward, when you see it's Kyle Ward running at you, you got to rethink some strategies.
Maybe of your options, maybe you don't want to see Dondre Haynes, but this is also not a good option.
Ward will get past the 50. He gets past one defender, stiff arms the other, and just like that, slide, Kyle Ward with the warning makes it 7-6.
Yeah, Darius Chapman is not looking prophetic after, what, a good real-time 38 seconds before this game is almost tied. There's a lot of football left.
Corey Price coming out for the championship.
Corey Price is going to come on to see if he can get the championship point. I wonder if they go for 2. Subtle move, get off me. And that's how it's done.
Just sets it up so the third defender trips over the second defender, and then Ward is just off to the races. Another big play in the playoffs for Kyle Ward. Makes it 7-6, and Corey Price in the QC Crush colored silky will take his step onto the field. And our thoughts to the Price family. Corey's dad was in surgery last night, came out of it with flying colors this morning, so shout out to him. And also shout out to the father of our game, GDP, who is also recovering. So thank you for being there for us as we are there for you.
Mr. DePaul. The real Mr. DePaul.
Mm-hmm. If you call Mr. DePaul, or if you call Ryan Mr. DePaul, he's like, what? My dad's here? The handoff going for 1. Corey Price can't get there. The ball swatted out, and the QC Crush will keep the lead no matter how tenuous, 7-6.
And we're going to keep this rolling because this half has been
bonkers.
All action. Listen, all action, but not a lot of points, but all action because both of these teams are giving us what we look to see, which is great football. And this is why, what a stiff arm. This is why throwing the ball inbounds, especially when you have the wind at your back, you got to execute the 3-on-1s. And we've already seen in playoff games today, if you can't execute the throw, that special teams is a third part of this game, and it's a really important part. Just ask the Renegades who needed to convert the 1 point to keep it tied. Can't get it done. That's why the Crush still somehow are holding on to a 1-point lead.
If you want to be a part of the A7FL, if you're watching this at home right now or on demand, wondering, why am I not bringing my team, my town, to the A7FL? Well, you can rectify that now. Learn how you can bring your team to the A7FL. Go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners. Damon Small will throw it off now for the East Orange Renegades, down 1 point, 7-6. The Renegades look for a huge stop here. On an untimed down near the end of our first half, that is caught on the fly by number 15. That's Hall, and Hall gets it to near the 50. They'll mark him out around the 45. 1st and 10, Crush.
Notorious Enormous Smalls. I'm going to call him Super NES from now on. Damon is not the one that you want to truck if you're Ametrius Hall. He maybe wisely takes it out of bounds. 20 seconds left, no timeouts. You're thinking, if you're the Crush, like, what are we doing? Are we just taking it to half? I don't know if they do decide that, because here's the deal. We've seen that Keno can put a little bit of mustard on it and get the distance on the throw. Maybe you give your guys who have caught jump balls today an opportunity, and at the top of your screen is the guy that I would try in Ametrius Hall, number 15.
We'll see how the Renegades secondary responds. One of the stingiest teams in the league. Leaches out, cannot haul it in.
Wow.
It'll be 2nd down. Nearly got that one, Corey, but they burned 5 seconds off the clock.
That's Digimon Go over there. It looked like he had an opportunity of it. Keno can't really gauge that deep ball. He's been everywhere. He's been accurate short, and he's shown that he's effective when he runs the ball. He's going to have to complete one of those deep passes, because I think they've been there, especially with the wind at their back all day. When you're attacking this Renegades defense, they're giving you opportunities deep in the secondary. You see CP3 out there kind of playing a safety position. Just was in the screen, is now back out of the screen. Maybe just so they don't get a deep ball again.
Under 10, now near 10 seconds to throw. Caught. Oh, and he tried this. I am unsure by what happened there, but it will be 3rd down on the incompletion.
They go with the comeback route. That, the comeback is a perfect route after you've threatened the defense vertically, to get a timing route right at the sideline. If he catches it, he gets out of bounds, and then they get another shot at a deep pass. I like the aggression from the Crush here. They did not come all the way from Ohio to the Jersey Shore just for funnel cake and boardwalk games. They're here to get an A7FL first-round playoff victory, and they played hard enough, at least in this first half, to show why they belong.
3rd down. Thomas running out of options. We'll have to run it. Thomas gets past the 50. Thomas spins around, almost gets de-jerseyed, and he gets the ball knocked out of play, and that will be the end of the first half, unless they give him a second left on the clock. But it looks like this will be the end of our first half. With your score, the QC Crush 7, the East Orange Renegades 6. Not sure if anyone expected this at half, but anybody but Keno Thomas and company. When we return, we'll go over the stats, the numbers, and the highlights. It's the A7FL playoffs. Where else would you rather be? Welcome back to the A7FL playoffs. We take a look at highlights here. Matt Rock. Look at the bird. Oh, look at the little nest. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I seen that at 10 a.m. There was the mommy bird was coming. I'm pretty sure it's an osprey, local to the Jersey Shore around here in Asbury Park. Probably a good 7-foot wingspan, Matt. And, not a hawk. Or maybe it would have been a sign for us at 10 a.m. But, you got to shout outs to the babies in there. They're just growing. They're just ready eventually to jump from there. I think that these same two birds, definitely mates for life. As long as I've been here at Asbury Park, I think for the last 5 years, they've been making a nest up there. It's working for them. They're going to keep with the game plan, Matt.
And we'll keep with the game plan here. Beautiful day in Asbury Park and a beautiful day to bring the family out like this family of ospreys. But let's take a look at the highlights in our game here. 7-6 your score. And if you want to see what it's all about, if you want to bring a team to our league, go to a7fl.com/owners. But Renegades start with the ball, and Anthony Service found himself in trouble early against this QC Crush defense. The Renegades. Keno Thomas was a problem for them to solve here in the first half, Corey. Sometimes his throws weren't on target, but when he was able to get some rushing out, he's able to solve some problems. Damon Small, not as much of an impact player here today. Big play there, but has not factored into the scoring as of yet. What can you do, Corey, as a quarterback to get this guy more involved in the second half?
Well, one of the more dangerous spots to put him is at running back because he's dangerous once the ball's in his hands. You can see here he makes first man miss, and then it's off to the races, hypothetically. Great open field tackle. But really, it's been the QC Crush committing to stopping the run. Now, this is a good run on the cutback here. Great opportunity early for the East Orange Renegades. Somebody watching these replays might ask, how did they not score on this drive? Because they're getting everything that they want. But the interesting and maybe difference-making thing about the A7FL is there's no way to capitalize on a good drive that can't punch it in. You got to get it in there. And they go on 3rd and goal. They go with kind of like a gadget play. Richardson looks like he runs back and forth, gets nothing, and then the penalty forces a 4th and goal. Look at this beautifully thrown ball by Service. But if you can't grab it, can't hold it in, they're not going to give you points. And then you go back to the Crush, moving the ball. Again, on this drive, the Crush faced 2 holding penalties that put them back, and they were still able to find time. And Ametrius Hall with a great catch, head-topping in the middle of the field.
He's been such an X factor for the Crush so far. Today we'll see a little bit more.
Says 5'8" on the roster sheet. He's over 6 foot. Let's be honest. He can go on Tinder right now. He's 6 foot. Tell all the ladies. But then it's Keno Thomas just doing what he does best.
He has been playing with a 7-footer's energy, but then Vaughn gets that ball swatted and knocked away. The Renegades would get the ball back with 5:54 left to go in the half. It seemed like Izzard and the entire Renegades defense turned the game on its head. But then Anthony Service would toss this one to DeAndre Haynes. Trey Brooks would get the stop, and this Renegades offense tried to get something going. Kyle Ward would make his first big play of the afternoon late in the half.
And it's interesting for the Renegades, the difference makers are A7FL vets. They have this great group of guys from their flag time at TMU that really have lit up the scoreboard at times in the regular season, but when they need them the most so far, at least in this first half, they've been letting them down. It's been the A7FL vets like Keno Thomas again making a play.
Thomas, and it's with 43 seconds left, made this throw to Hall, who hauled it in at the 1-yard line, and then Keno would cut in, he would get brought down. The clock would continue to run. A great play by the Renegades defense in the red zone. But then Thomas would find the seam. He would slip. He would slide. And he would give the Crush the biggest lead they've had to date in the A7FL. Makes it 6-0. And then they'd complete the extra point, make it 7-6. But Corey, the Osprey knows one thing that we do. That when Kyle Ward gets the ball on a dead ball run on an untimed down, that more than likely will equal 6. Slip slide, he would make it 7-6 and make this a 1-point, literal 1-point game. Kyle Ward, a A7FL champion, a veteran, an all-decade and a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver in what might be his final act with the Renegades, looking to show why he is one of the best. And folks, when we return here on the A7FL playoffs, we will get you ready for the second half as we will go through numbers. But Corey Price on the extra point could not get anything going. He would get purple people eaten by this QC Crush. Will it be a royal day for the Crush, or will the Renegades pull the robbery? We'll find out from our perch. We're back in the bird's nest after this. It's the A7FL playoffs. Back live with the A7FL playoffs. And folks, this game is brought to you by Tape Me Up, professional athletic training services to athletes of all sports and ages. Find out more about that and how you can get taped up like a pro at tapemeup.net. That's tapemeup.net. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond as we get ready for our second half in Asbury Park. QC Crush making the sojourn to Asbury. And Corey Hammond, I'm wondering right now, when you look at the stats, how do you toss this one up? 7-6, 100. The Crush leading in rushing yards, leading in total yards. They've got the turnover, but the momentum right now feels kind of up in the air. But the Crush with that stop right at the end of the half on the extra point, getting the ball at halftime, that's going to be a big swing for them.
Well, and the difference, if you look at the stats, you're really breaking it down. The difference is Keno Thomas breaking contain from the defensive line of the Renegades and finding a way to get rushing yards on plays that were most of the time not called to be running plays. And that's really his game, and that's really his best attribute. If the Renegades want to stop him, they're going to have to keep contained and force him to pass the ball. Now, he has the 49 yards. A lot of those are great catches from Ametrius Hall and company. To me, the Renegades, if we're being honest, they're thanking Kyle Ward that they're not down 7-0 in this game with, looking at their offensive output, like, how did we not score? They're right now on their sideline thinking that this game is theirs to win And I'm going to be honest, I don't see how they do it without stopping Keno Thomas running the ball.
And with that, 7-6 is your score. And when we return, it is time to throw things off in Asbury Park. The Crush with the lead. The Renegades looking to break it up and break their way into the Eastern Conference Final Four. Who makes their move to the other side of Memorial Day? We get one step closer next. We're back live as you take a look at the stats one more time. At the end of one half, the QC Crush with the lead, and the A7FL playoffs are brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com, that's GatorTech.com, and use the code A7FL25 or scan the QR code off for 10% off today. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. 30 minutes of football have gone by in this winner-go-home tournament to decide the A7FL champion. With another 30 minutes left to go, the Renegades are down by 1.
Yeah, and it's been really the closest game that we've seen in a while on Games of the Week, because really both of these teams are taking advantage of the weaknesses of the other. And whether it's Keno Thomas break and contain and getting to the second level, or it was a bad 3-on-1 throw-off and coverage from the QC Crush to allow for Kyle Ward to score.
Drew Ruffin will throw it off. Pardon me. We'll get the throw off for the QC Crush to start our second half. Ruffin trying to get around one man and does. Gets to around the 30. Almost gets the ball knocked out. Small in on the throw and the tackle. Not great starting position for the Crush, but not awful compared to where they started at their own 10 on the first drive of the afternoon.
And again, the wind has been a huge factor in today's games. Whipping those A7FL signs with the TPG on the top. But if Keno's able, you can see the dust in the background. If Keno's able to keep composure and find seams to run the ball, it's been the on-time shorter throws that he's been accurate with. So the adjustments will be key here. But right now, the QC Crush start with 2 running backs in the backfield, and 1st and 10, looking to start a big drive here to start the second half.
Thomas will keep it on first down. Will cleave through a couple of players and will gain about 3. It'll be second down.
Not sure who the play action was to, but still manages to kind of hesitate, find a seam, get the yardage that he could on that play. Keeping ahead of the sticks, Matt. You got to keep the ball moving forward. Don't lose yardage. And even though 3 doesn't seem like much,
momentum is momentum in this game, and when you only
Crush
have
will
one,
take it.
Yeah, if you've barely had a lead in situations like this, big game like this, you're going to take any yard you can get. The handoff on 2nd and 7, the pocket collapsing, and the football gods giveth, the football gods taketh away. A loss of 2, it'll be 3rd and 9.
That time they go back with that jumbo package. There's no wide receivers, 3 guys, including the quarterback in the backfield. So the Renegades just load up in the box with all 7. And that's why they weren't able to get anything on that play, which will bring up 3rd and 7, which is kind of exactly where the Renegades want to be as a defensive unit. They want to be able to pin their ears back as defensive linemen, rush Keno, but they have to stay in their lanes or he's going to find a seam and convert on the ground.
1-point game, 3rd and 7. First drive of the half. Thomas will keep it on the option. Keno Thomas will get the first down. He will get more, and he will be brought down on the other side of the 50-yard line. Thomas on 3rd and long, stepping up, and showing out, keeping the Crush's momentum rolling downhill, Corey.
Yeah, well, that was a perfect execution by everyone of the Crush offensive unit on the triple option. They go with the crossface play action from the first guy, which is the first option, and then after the fake, freezes and frees up the edge. Now, Rondo, this corner, has to play the pitchman. And Keno takes advantage, makes the right read, and on 3rd and 7, they're able to convert it on the ground.
1st and 10, another handoff, and they will bounce their way near the 45, mark down near the 46. It'll be 2nd down. Corey Price out there now on defense and on the stop.
This is exactly how you want to start the second half if you're the Crush. They're getting bodies on bodies. They're getting some running lanes, and they're making headway here with the wind in their face. If they can put points on the board against the wind, they're going to put themselves in a great spot. Only up by 1, but looking to add more.
11:47 left to go in the 3rd. Another handoff, and then met at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down, a loss of about 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10, if not 3rd and 9. The generous spot from the official. And
that time they go backwards, Matt. And 2nd and 7's great. If you can get another 3, then it's 3rd and 4. But when you don't get vertical, you go horizontal, you allow for the penetration from the Renegades defensive line to stop you. Now you're put again in that 3rd and long situation, which is going to be tough to convert in the air.
3rd and 10. The handoff on 3rd down, pushes through, will not get a first down, will get them back to where they got on 1st down. It'll be 4th and 8, maybe 4th and 9 for QC Crush, as the Renegades defense that has been stingy all season long showing up again on a huge 3rd down stop.
Well, and the QC Crush are 2 for 2 on 4th downs, and they've gone for it back inside their own 30 twice. So you kind of already knew that they were going to go for it here. But again, 4th and 8, unless they go with that speed option look, is going to be a tough conversion. And they'll spread them out a little bit to give themselves an opportunity to throw the ball and complete it that way. Demetrius Hall, top of your screen.
Watch for Hall. The snap on 4th and 8. Thomas steps up, throws it incomplete, intended for Hall. So the Renegades will get the ball after the Crush burn about 5 minutes or so off the clock with a 1-point lead. First time we will see the Renegades offense since late in the first half, but there you see the Trenton BIC on the sideline, Carnell Wachter. Why you do that, and you got MVP candidate Kason Campbell paying a visit. We'll take a brief time out, and when we return, the Renegades have the ball. Will we be asking why you do that, or will we be asking, can the Renegades put more points on the board? Next! The A7FL Games of the Week, the playoff edition, is back, and it's brought to you by Scene. Monetize your content and make more out of your content by utilizing Scene's proprietary AI system. Go to SEEN.com, that's SEEN.com, and find out how Scene can help you in your content. 1st and 10 for the Renegades, their first drive of the second half. Service off the screen, gets it to Small. Pardon me, that's Kyle Ward. Kyle Ward screams himself to the 40, first down for East Orange.
There's a reason why the quick screen is one of my favorite plays, because really what it does is it just extends your running game to the outside where you have a favorable matchup with the blocking and the numbers. And when you give Kyle Ward that amount of space, good luck stopping him for less than a 10-yard gain. You see, on defense, Renegades already made the adjustment. They're rushing their lanes better against Keno Thomas, so he's not able to take off on pass plays running the ball and start the second half with their first drive on offense. They're able to quickly get the ball to a guy that they probably should continue to feature in Kyle Ward, the A7 vet.
The snap, service on 1st and 10, throws it underneath, caught. Opportunity for another first down, brought down inside the 35, inside the 30. Quick return, quick turnaround, and the Renegades continuing to drive here in the third quarter.
Service has really been efficient on those quick 3-step timing routes. He gets to his third step, releases the ball on time, and there's really nothing you could do as a defense unless you're looking to kind of play a little bit of tighter coverage. So credit the Renegades starting this second half off, getting their quarterback comfortable, because he's going to need to be able to complete passes going this direction, because into the wind is going to be tough in the fourth quarter.
And an update on where we are in the playoffs. The Watchmen, the BIC, and the Animals all advanced. The Watchmen in Baltimore with a 32-31 win over the U. The screen off the hands, incomplete. It'll be third down, the BIC over the Hawks earlier today in our first game of the afternoon. Sorry, Corey. And the Animals with a complete destruction of the Virginia Heathens, 53-0. That was in our 1 o'clock game with CJ, not even David Tender in the lineup. Off the hands on that play, and this Renegades offense, Corey, at times it's clicking, but there are times where they just cannot get things moving.
Yeah, this is a designed play. It's a little high, but if you're going to throw it to Dondre, high should be a catch that he can make.
3rd and 3, Service in trouble, throws this one, caught, finds his way through the defender. Kyle Ward gets the lead. Big plays by big players, because this is the A7FL playoffs. Kyle Ward showing the strength, showing the skill, 12-7.
And the ball was just thrown on time. It really wasn't even thrown accurately. Kyle Ward is so wide open that the ball can be underthrown a little bit. Credit Service for getting it to the guy that he needs to. But once he makes the catch, even though there's crushed defenders all around him, Kyle Ward will not be denied. Well, this is the previous play to Dondre.
But Kyle Ward, second touchdown of the afternoon, scored the first one off a 3-on-1 return, but here on a over 30-yard pass play. What you want from your big play wide receiver. Service and Ward is a dynamic grouping that we want to see more of, and we might, if they get the win here, the throw to the end zone, and that one is picked off. That won't yield anything but a halt in the momentum and a halt in play. The Crush will get the ball, but are down by 5 with 7:15 left to go in the third. We saw a lot of good on that last drive from the Crush, but they weren't able to get it on 4th down. Gave the opportunity to the Renegades, who set up Service, and on this throw, right to Kyle Ward's hip pocket, found a way to slide naturally through the 2 defenders and just push and manufacture his way into the end zone to take their first lead of the afternoon, 12-7. Damon Small will throw it off. Be a part of the conversation. Drop a comment. Get a shout-out. Download the official chat partner of the A7FL. Download Locker Room Chat today. Let me know you and your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts now at a7fl.com/chat alongside with Corey's thoughts. I would love to hear Corey's thoughts right now.
Well, the corner route that Kyle Ward ran broke so open that the ball was 10 yards underthrown, and it almost worked out better for Service because then the cutback allowed for Ward to score easily. And Smalls, Super NES, throws it out of the end zone. And listen, QC Crush moved the ball a little bit on offense the last time, but they really have to keep serve because, no pun intended, with the wind in their faces, if they give the Renegades the ball back with a chance with the wind at their back, that's really been when teams have been effective on offense. So still 7:15 left in the quarter that they got to fight against the wind. But I do not really love seeing if they go with that huge jumbo package, no wide receivers, because then the Renegades can just load up and stop what's an obvious running situation.
7:05 left to go. Renegades up by 5 after being down by 1 at the end of the first half. Kyle Ward, the reason for both Renegades touchdowns, one on a 3-on-1 return and the other one from a pass from Anthony Service. Now Keno Thomas on 1st and 10. The handoff bounces to the sideline, a slight gain, and it will be 2nd down.
Again, they stay on the ground. They get 4 on 1st down. That's what they're going to need to do when they're running the ball. But I would like to see if they could get a little bit more creative to give guys opportunities on a misdirection, because really what their game plan has been so far is that their playmakers, except for Q Vaughn, who runs through people, they're trying to beat the Renegades to the corner and get around the defensive pressure on the edge. It's worked so far, but eventually they're going to run out of time.
Thomas will carry this one, and it'll be a moderate gain on 2nd down. And it will get them a little bit closer, but not further than they would want it to be. 3rd and moderate for the Crush.
Looks like jet action, and they countered it with a speed option. And when the defense goes wide, Keno reads it, attacks the middle of the field. Again, not a huge gain, but they got yards. And when it's 2nd and 6, getting it to 3rd and 5, especially because they've gone for it on 4th down in every situation, at least they're moving the ball forward and giving themselves a shot.
The snap on 3rd and 5. Thomas throws this. Flag on the play. And it looks like the Crush will get another pass interference on the Renegades, as the secondary for East Orange has been in trouble a couple of times so far this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that ball was at all catchable, but there is a ruling where even if the ball is so poorly thrown that it's not catchable, and it's called holding, and it's an automatic. It's not a spot foul, so it's only a 5-yard penalty, but it's an automatic 1st down, which is exactly what the Crush wanted on that play. So even when they miss, they're keeping the ball moving forward, and the clock continues to tick.
Thomas at the 30 launches this one deep. Hall catches this one at the 48. 1st down, Queen City.
He's got magnets in those gloves because that is not insane. A well-thrown ball. That ball is just kind of thrown in the general vicinity. It hangs in the air. The wind brings it directly to his chest. And Demetrius Hall, the artist formerly known as Amatrus, 1st and 10.
Hall. Now Thomas. Thomas will bounce out. He'll have to keep it, and he will get inside the 45, near the 44, and it will be 2nd down, 2nd and about 6.
Smart play from CP there. Had him dead to rights at the sideline, but if he hits him there, it's another 15 free yards. So let him go out of bounds. Let the play live on. And again, Keno Thomas, shifty enough to find a little bit of space, gets 4 yards, and again they stay ahead of the sticks. I'm still what some might say flabbergasted at the throw and catch from Demetrius Hall, who again, you look at his stat line, he's not blowing it up with yards per catch, but the catches that he has made have been highlights for sure.
12-7 your score. The Crush looking to break this open, and they do! Gets it to the 15. First down. Crush. Keno Thomas finding his man. Number 8 on the play. That is McNear. Digimon. He's not a digital monster. He's a monster in real life, taking yards, taking gravity, and making it his own.
And that was on Kyle Ward. Digimon Go right past him on the go route. Tight coverage will leave it open on those fades.
Thomas will get on his bicycle. He will utilize his offensive line. He tosses it over to the big man, Vaughn. Gets it inside the 10, maybe inside the 5. And the Crush looking so nimble, looking so loose. Going up against a team that a lot of people said could give the top-tier teams in the A7FL and did in the opening week against the BIC. Give them trouble, and right here, the Crush making the most of it. Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, this is that throw. Digimon Go. He keeps the ball low enough so it cuts through the wind. What a great catch. Placement from Keno's ball there is
Toss
awesome.
back. No, Thomas will keep it. Keno Thomas gets brought down. He extends out. Will not get Kevin Dyson. They're calling for the touchdown. We'll see what the officials say. And they get it. Touchdown, Crush. They take the lead back, drive for drive, trying to go band for band.
I don't know your area code, but shout out. 513.
And shout out to the public address announcer letting people know that they have area codes and to shout them out if necessary.
Wow, I've never seen the option pitch from the offhand back. It froze the defense. And Joe Rivera is there on the tackle, but Keno stretches out and gets the rushing touchdown to again go up. And what type of points are these, Matt?
Shout out Big Rob. These are championship points. As Zach Morgan emphatically told me in our instant feedback, these are championship points. Shout out to Big Rob, who will be joining us in the Eastern Conference Final Four in 2 weeks' time. We will be back with you after Memorial Day. We take a look at the replay, trying to review the spot of the ball.
Oh, you mean the battery?
You see the knees down here.
Ooh.
It's as close as it gets. Now, Matt, here's the thing. This is the first time we've had one of these in a while in that end zone.
Yeah, it is the complete opposite end zone. Yeah.
This is a end zone.
Does this break the curse? Is this like the inverse of that? Like, we see.
Well, it's not Kenny Stansberry up in the booth up here. It's Marcel Bates. So I don't know. Maybe times are changing.
Let's take a look here, where the knee is down, but his
it's close.
It's close.
When does he extend? Because
we do the
call
super
on the
snap
field
zoom.
is a touchdown,
and it's got to be overwhelming evidence overturning it. So you have to have sufficient evidence that it is an overturn. It is down.
He's already reaching. So it's the thing is did he fall in or did he already reach and the ball came down after it was already over? This is a better angle at it, but it's still really tough to see. They really got those guys with that pump.
Yeah, that was nasty.
I've never seen an option pitch.
And we
with
see
the right
knee
hand.
down there. Ooh, no, I think he's in. Because the way his body is angled, bringing the ball down, it was going to land there no matter what.
For those at home, I asked the question. Because it was called a touchdown on the field, is there indisputable evidence that he was short? And here's the thing. It's really close. You might be able to make an argument. It looks short, but it's not indisputable, which means I think that this touchdown is going to stand. And win or lose, Matt, this is what I will say about this young man. Keno Thomas may not be the best pocket passer or the best tactician, but you know what he is? He's a winner, and he's making winning plays, fighting with all of his body and heart. And right now, the Renegades, I appreciate that. Joe Rivera pulled him back. Gamesmanship there. Listen, as Will Franklin is looking at this.
And in an update out west, it is 54-12. Sick got the win over the Gold, 54-12.
Stone King. off 1-0 in the playoffs.
Insomniacs will be in action against the Hunters at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Is there sufficient evidence to overturn this? Let us know on a7fl.com/chat. Download the Locker Room Chat app now and let us know what you think the call should be right here, right now.
All I can hear right now in my head is the Any Given Sunday speech from Al Pacino. It's a game of inches! Because I don't know. And listen, me and you, Matt, have been doing this a long time. We've seen some close plays.
We've seen some fakakta things happen in the end zone of the stadium.
There is no way that, in my opinion, you can overturn this call because of how close it looks. Now, it may very well be, if we had some kind of, AI drone be able to measure and do some kind of, IBM thing that I can't explain with English words because I just don't comprehend or grasp anything about that level of technical advancement in our
That's a long
society.
way to go to just say, I'm not up to date with technology.
I
that was a long road to a very short pier, my brother.
I was trying to avoid saying that I'm Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn.
Well, you're a bit of a Luddite, which is okay. You've got 87 children. How are you going to keep up with modern technology?
Well, I'm not a first adopter, that's for sure. I have adopted nothing in my life. They've all come naturally, eventually. And a lot of times it takes a minimum 9 months. Listen, let's talk about let's talk about the scenario, because if they score and this counts, it's a touchdown. Now, if they don't, it's still going to be down at the inch yard line?
Yeah, it's 3rd and goal at the inch yard line, and if they throw Q Vaughn in there, you hit them with the thick boy season, you run the Snow Tribe formation, and then we go back to it being 13-12, and the upside for the Crush is that they run through it. But right now, either way, neither team gets a timeout burnt because it's an official review. It's a scoring play, so either way.
And I'll tell you who benefits from the time to relax more is the QC Crush, number one. Number two, we're winding down on the Renegades it looks like they've taken it back.
They have overturned the call. The evidence was sufficient.
All right, shout outs to our crew. Getting in there, making sure that they get the best possible call.
So it will be second. It'll be 2nd and short at the infinitesimal yard line.
I'll say this, Matt. When the Renegades come off the bus, air quotes, right? They look like that you're not getting 1 yard on them. But I'll ask the question: have they looked like a team that's elite at open field and goal line tackling so far today? I don't know.
Well, this will be a big gut check for them. 2nd and goal. Thomas will stay in at quarterback.
I think a good look here might be that triple option play, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
The right side, camera right, looks wide open. It feels like they can slide over there if they just follow their coverage.
Especially because the defensive edge protector on that side is most well known in this league for playing quarterback. And after having tons of time, it looks like the QC Crush may be calling it time. Oh, they're waiting for the whistle.
There's 40. The whistle.
Back in the backfield with Keno Thomas.
The handoff. No, Thomas will keep it. And in there, finally, Keno Thomas will cross the Rubicon and into the end zone, take the lead back, 13-12.
Or what?
I don't know what that was, but that's going to be in my dreams tonight. I don't know what that was, but the man in the gardening gloves and the shorn T-shirt is going to be in my dreams tonight. And I want to thank him for that, and I want to thank him for the melatonin I'm going to need to take for whatever that was. 13-12 your score. The QC Crush take the lead. Let's take a look at the replay. Bing, bang, right in there, just walked in. Great blocking by this QC Crush offensive line. They've had to do a yeoman's work today against this Renegades rush. Kyle Ward back out there for the Renegades secondary They'll go for one from the 5 to make it a 2-point game. Vaughn back in, but watch for Thomas in the back stack.
And I might sound like a broken record, but on 2nd and goal from the 1, this is
the
tackle
big
football.
Man slips, slides, and that is a thick boy extra. 14-12 your score, and we have ourselves a game, Corey Hammond. And when we return, can the Renegades break it open again? Stop that! Can the man from the Renegades score on an untimed down again? It's the A7FL playoffs. Stay where you are. A7FL playoffs are back, and this game is brought to you by TPG Sports. Want to wear the gear you see on the field? Go to the place where it's effort over excuses. TPG Sports, the official uniform provider of the A7FL, can get you A7FL custom jerseys at a7flshop.com. Bouncing ball from Kyle Ward. That will not go the requisite distance, it seems.
I don't know. It looked like it bounced right. It looks like it bounced at the 20. It's got to go to the 25.
It was short. It was short. It was short. It was short. I just got confirmation it was short.
Well, that's another mistake from the QC Crush throw-off team. Now, this time, they're throwing into the wind.
And right now, Corey, championship points mean everything
hold on.
In this game.
Hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
oh.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
you can't miss that.
Oh, no.
Because here's the thing, you can't, if you blow
you
the
gotta
whistle.
rethrow it. You gotta rethrow it.
But the thing that stinks is, and you could use a different word.
They might have just not been, the refs might have not been ready.
It's not easy to get that ball that far again.
For the 3rd year in a row, Corey, it will be Watchmen versus the Animals in a playoff game. The winner of this game plays the Trenton BIC in 2 weeks' time. Kyle Ward with a second chance. Kyle Ward cuts to the outside. Kyle Ward going 2 for 2. Slip, slide, takes it back. Touchdown, Renegades.
If it wasn't for Kyle Ward, the Renegades would be losing this game in a shutout. The fact that they have him on their sideline and he's an A7FL champion and veteran means that the TMU guys could just let him carry them to victory because he's the one who's done it.
And also, this puts the game in the Crush's hands. Another amazing run by Kyle Ward, one of the great players in our league's history, and showing it here. Just the wherewithal, the speed, the understanding. But the way that both teams have been walking down the clock when they have possession, Corey, and the way that the Crush have been able to manufacture long drives. For the Renegades right now, you get the quick turnaround, but with 2:26 left to go in the 3rd, the Renegades might be able to control the momentum now, but the pace is going to be dictated by the Crush after this.
Well, the championship point game, if this is a 2-pointer, they need it.
They go for 2 from the 10. Service throws this one, and he can't hold on to it. Another important play. Badesden could not catch it in the end zone. Another extra point that could have possibly clinched a huge game or a huge momentum swing for the Renegades literally falls through their hands.
And the reason this is huge is because they get the 2. Now they're up by 6. And if the QC Crush score and the Renegades can stop them from getting the championship point, they're not losing. Now, Matt, they're only up by 4. So any touchdown from the QC Crush immediately puts them up. That's the 6, right? And then if they continue to miss on these extra points, they're just allowing the QC Crush to, in a game where it's 3 touchdowns, they're going to lose.
And it looks like Trey Brooks hurt on that play.
For them.
He has been such an important weapon on this club.
I hope that he can get back in the game if he's healthy or if he makes a recovery, because his importance can't be underestimated so far in this game. A lot of those in between plays that you might lose, whether it's a block to spring Keno or the tackles in the open field, 40's been huge.
And if you want to be a part of making the most out of your content, utilize the interactive engine from Scene. See what it does at a7fl.tv, utilizing shoppable prompts and more. Get the future of content management. Utilize Scene. Scan the QR code now or go to SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com. Scene. Make the most out of your content.
And I don't want to belabor this because we see Ametrius Hall back to see what he can do on the return. But it's a shame that first throw-off, they had to replay it, because then he gave a very dangerous weapon in Ward another opportunity.
And as a live ball, and Hall will let that one bounce out of the end zone.
Here's the difference between the wind there.
Yeah, not tempting fate on that one. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Crush, down by 4. They walked into this half up by 1, 7-6. Since then, Kyle Ward scored 2 more touchdowns, one on a catch thrown by Anthony Service, the other one on his second 3-on-1 return of the afternoon. The Crush took the lead after the Ward touchdown off of a play from Keno Thomas.
Shout out to Service, but correct me if I'm wrong. The passes that he's missed, or like a little bit, or by a lot, have been good passes that have been caught. And the dimes that he's dropped into receivers' hands or hit guys in the chest, those are the ones that have been dropped.
Oof. Thomas on 1st and 10, nearing the 2-minute mark here in the third, down by 4. Thomas will hand it off, bounce to the outside, will get some yardage, will be knocked out of play after a gain of about 2.
And CP makes the play. He's the one that ended up on the ground, but I think he'll take it with only 1-yard gain. It basically works to be a counter. But, this is kind of what the QC Crush have been trying to do.
And Price
great play, scraping all the way across the field.
Really effective as a spy there. You saw him watching that play develop the entire time. He was looking to see what Keno was trying. I think they're trying to utilize CP as a Keno stopper. Yep. I'm not sure how effective it's been overall. But we've seen it.
Smalls and Price on that outside over there.
Thomas fakes the throw. He'll roll out. He'll find an option. He will turn on the afterburners, and he will be pushed hard out of play.
Oh, boy.
That was the man rocking 973. I think that's Teddy. Knocking him out of play, representing the state of New Jersey.
He's got 3 wide numbers. None of them are number 1, right? He's got 3 wide numbers on their jersey, and it looks like it fits perfectly. Keno goes with a hesitation, but nothing you could do there.
That was the opposite of a fun time, as it's 6:05 in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. 32 seconds left to go on the mothership of A7FL.TV, DAZN internationally, Fox Soul, Triller and Fight TV, and Keno Thomas and the Crush trying to fight the throw. Can they walk it off here in the third? Trying to make something happen. Slides through one defender. Trying to keep it going. Digimon, Digital Monsters. He's in the battle. And at the end of the third quarter, or dang near it, the Crush walk into the fourth, making a statement. They may be down, but they certainly are not out. If you want to see how this one ends, if you want to see who's walking out with a date with the defending Eastern Conference champions, text a friend, text an enemy, text your grandma, your grandpapa. It's win or go home. Fourth quarter next. Back live with the A7FL playoffs in the fourth quarter, and this game is brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8RTech.com, that's GatorTech.com, and use the code A7FL25 for 10% off your order today. Matt Ryan, Corey Hammond with you on the A7FL playoffs. Eastern Conference opening round. One more game for you out west as the Insomniacs are in action, but Keno Thomas here on 1st and 10 trying to break things open. We'll get to the 15.
Another solid gain on first down. And what's interesting is now, look, this game has basically been a heavyweight bout. Both of these teams are going punch for punch. And when it seems like the QC Crush really take momentum, they lose it immediately on a kick return from Kyle Ward. But now the Crush have the wind at their back. So let's say hypothetically, it's going to be easier sledding for them hypothetically on offense. But also, more importantly, if they score, they keep the ball in bounds. Now they can throw it maybe over the head of Ward.
The snap, Thomas in trouble. Nearly brought down. He will be stopped. He will be sacked. Loss of about 4, and it will be 3rd down.
And they really went 1990s high school coach there. They went quarterback run right, and they were like, all right, now quarterback run left. And Renegades are all over at that time.
And this just coming in, the Crush have double the yards of the Renegades. Think about that for a second. Heading into this game, a lot of people thought the Renegades would be boat racing, though. The Crush, and right now the Renegades have the lead, but it feels like the Crush have the momentum. The Renegades have not been able to extend long drives. They've been able to make big plays happen with Kyle Ward, but the Crush have been making the most out of 3rd down, 4th down, and here on 3rd and 13, looking to make that happen one more time, and they cannot. But on 4th down, the announcer Jinx kicks in on 3rd. Will it happen on 4th, Corey?
Well, maybe if we don't say that, they'll definitely convert it. But in the first half, on 4th and shorts, they were 100%. But then you have to get that extra couple of yards. One of the best adjustments so far from the Renegades is their defensive line is now rushing, and still a few times Keno's gotten it, but they've kept contain on the elusive quarterback in Keno Thomas, forcing him to throw the ball. Now, on 4th and 13, they need to make sure that they stay in their lanes because, 1, it'll force him to throw from the pocket where he's relatively uncomfortable. But 2, Keno's best opportunity here is if he gets around the defensive end and runs full speed at open field defenders, which right now the Renegades look like they don't want to make that tackle.
Snap. Thomas in trouble. Finds a way to glide. Throws it to the end zone. Can't get there. And the Renegades get the stop on 4th down. And with 12:11 left to go, the Crush find themselves wanting and find themselves down by 4.
I love that he pulled the trigger on that one, but his game in that situation is tuck it and go, and he had it, Matt. He had the speed, he had the space. There's bikers here. I think they're rooting on the Crush for some reason. Great job from the Renegades to force the 4th and long. But I think even on that play, when Keno Thomas goes and looks back at it, he's going to want to take that back and turn it into a run attempt as opposed to the errant pass.
1st and 10, 12 and change left to go in our 4th quarter. The Renegades looking for a rematch with the BIC from week 1. The throw to Ward. Kyle Ward one more time will get a 1st down off the screen from Service.
And it's just simple math, Matt, and anybody that's ever taken a 1st grade math class can do it. When you put trips at the bottom of your screen, if there's only 2 corners over there, Service is going to throw to one of them. You're going to have blockers in front of them, and it's an easy 1st down for Kyle Ward. Kyle Ward is now the official workhorse. I think he's actually the logo for the Renegades on the front of their jersey with the mask on. Because without Kyle Ward, the Renegades might have been in trouble so far, Matt.
1st and 10, 11:27 left to go in regulation time.
Super NES in the backfield.
The handoff to Small. Small will cut to the outside, and he will bounce near the 35, and it will be second down. A gain of about 5. They might give him 6, but either way, it'll be second and moderate.
And that's where Smalls is extremely dangerous because he's extremely fast and deceptively fast at that. And when he gets a head of steam going, the way his body's built is like yeah, sure, try to go for his legs. That's not going to end well. And then what do? Try to tackle him up high? Nope, not going to work either. So another big play for the Renegades. If they're able to get a score here, they might take full control of this game. The Crush have fought valiantly, but they're going to need a huge stop. And hopefully the wind at their back can help them out. But if Service can make the right decision, he might not even need to throw the ball.
In motion. Service off the handoff to Small. Pardon me, that's Kyle Ward. Ward will get the first down again. And Kyle Ward, the most valuable Renegade so far. Keeping this lead close and keeping the momentum moving. 18-14 your score. Nearing the under the 11-minute mark of our fourth quarter.
In this fourth quarter, if you're not trying to get Kyle Ward the ball in some way, shape, or form, as a play caller, you're making a mistake. Because I don't know what video game would be the reference, but his on fire meter is off the charts right now. Just get him the ball and get out of his way.
The snap. Service hands it off and then met at the line. Almost looks like the ball came out, but they will be stopped. They will be stifled. It'll be second down. Without Kyle Ward, this score would be 14-0. 2 return touchdowns and 1 throw from Anthony Service are the only points East Orange have put on the board this afternoon. Unable to clinch any extra points, which makes it a attainable game for Cincinnati. If QC Crush can get a stop here and get a touchdown, this game is over. And also, Corey, it is the fourth quarter, so there is an opportunity for a get-back in a situation where if it's a touchdown or an extra point, or if the score changes, but it's a little too tight of a game for that to break out. Service on 2nd and 9. In motion. Service will keep the ball. Service will cut to the sideline. Anthony Service will break it off to the 35. Another first down for East Orange.
And that's the thing that we've been missing from Service for much of the game. He has elite speed when he decides to take it and turn it up the field. He fakes the jet there, gets the space, and that's an easy 25 yards. Look at the pull. Sets it up with the press in the hole, gets outside. It's a great play from Service. So far, the biggest thing that Service has done is not turn the ball over. Shout out to our PA announcer. But 1st and 10, trips again to the bottom of your screen.
From the 35, 8:40 left to go, 4-point lead for the Renegades. The screen that's thrown to Badeston. Badeston gets the ball, carries it inside the 20, and brings it down to the 21.
First down. And the blocking in front of him was key because when you go to that trips look and you go quick screen, which has basically been the Renegades' best pass play so far this game, except for that one corner that was underthrown to Kyle Ward, you get the blocks in front of him. You give your guy an opportunity to get vertical and upfield, and that's what this play is. Look at the blocking. Mo Francis, the running back, gets on Ruffin. Kyle Ward gave Keno Thomas enough of a push to make it a difficult tackle, and it's another first down, and the Renegades are on the move.
Just chewing on time, just eating clock with 7:50 left to go. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. 2-minute warning also in play. Watch the bottom of your screen. Service throws this one. Caught, knocked out of play, but another first down.
No, they're going to give it to him on DeAndre.
Touchdown, Renegades. DeAndre Haynes makes the catch, makes the play, and will extend the lead for the Renegades.
And that's huge because they're up 4. They add 6 to it. Now they got the 10.
They need to get the
that
extra
means
point
QC
here.
Crush The QC Crush have to score twice to take the lead.
But that's where the get back does come in, because if they score, if the Crush are able to score, and they can get the Renegades return team inside the 20, which would be hard if it's Kyle Ward, the Crush get the ball back and a whole bunch of possibilities can open up. But they need a score here, and they need a stop on the extra point.
And when the Renegades need a play in the A7FL, they go to an A7FL veteran Megatron. They set up the quick screen again with this formation, and the Crush lose the 6'7" tight end.
The snap with time. Throws it, and that is incomplete. He had the man, but had to throw from one corner of the field to the other. Not able to make it happen. So again, championship points coming up barren for the Renegades when we return. It's the most exciting play in football. It might be a 10-point deficit, but a whole lot of football left. It's the A7FL playoffs. Stay right where you are.
A lot of stuff to talk about.
Be a part of the conversation now and anytime at a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Download the Locker Room Chat app today, absolutely free, no matter what platform. a7fl.com/chat. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. Scan the QR code now to be a part of the conversation on a7fl.com/chat. And Corey, it's time for the most exciting play in football, the 3-on-1 throw-off. And it will be small throwing into the wind, and that will be a live ball, and it's picked up. Here's an opportunity for Ruffin. Ruffin gets around the edge. Drew Ruffin trying to get around Small, but cannot. But solid field position at the 42, maybe the 41-yard line.
That was a great throw from Small. The way that it was low, the way that it bounced. Ruffin does everything he can to make sure that he can cleanly pick up that ball. If he hesitates even a little bit or muffs it just a touch, that could have been Renegade ball. So big play there. And then to get the return yardage, we still got plenty of football left to play, Matt. The clock does not stop until the 2-minute, but with 7 minutes left, if the QC Crush can move the ball a little bit more quickly than they have so far, they do have the wind at their backs. They could easily score, play defense, even if they don't get the get back, and get another opportunity with the go-ahead touchdown. But it all starts here on this drive. They got to get it downfield and punch it in.
Thomas,
1st and 10.
He'll keep it. Wings this one deep. Downfield, cannot get there. Had the arm but could not make the leg. It'll be 2nd down.
Good coverage, but the ball's just not placed in a catchable spot. Again, wind taking it a little bit further than Keno wants, but the shot will keep the defense honest, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
6:41 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Winner of this game plays the Trenton BIC in 2 weeks' time when we return with the 2nd round of the A7FL playoffs. Watchmen and the Animals will be our other contest. For times and other information, go to a7fl.com. That's a7fl.com. Or go to the schedule page at a7fl.com/schedule. 2nd and 10. The snap. Thomas slips out of one defender. Will set up. He will launch this one deep downfield. That is caught at the 20. He is brought down, extends it to 15, and they keep it going. What a play by the QC Crush. Digi McNear one more time.
And whenever the ball is catchable by one or the other teams, when the Crush have the ball, it's been the Crush that win the battle in the air. So we will not say that this is a great throw. But what it is an opportunity for the Crush, and they take advantage of it once again, make the catch on one-on-one, and here's Keno again.
Thomas in trouble, and he will be sacked. Another sack for this East Orange Renegades defense. And Thomas having to go against these literal giants on the other side. It'll be second and a lot more than they would want with nearing the 5-minute mark in the fourth.
And so far in this game, that's a play that Keno's been able to avoid the initial pressure and extend the play. But this time, there's just nowhere for him to go. And my guy, Dog, makes a big-time play after Smalls with the initial pressure. Brings up 2nd and 14.
Thomas snaps. Waits, throws towards the sideline, and he gets the catch and the flag. And it looks like it was a pick.
Oh, it's intercepted.
But it's a pass interference on the Renegades. And the clock will stop with 4:37 left to go, and the Renegades will get a bit of salvation here. Well, pardon me, the Crush will get a bit of salvation. Ooh, wow.
That went through the receiver's hands.
That is a wild play, but the Crush are the beneficiaries of a seatbelt call, a pass interference.
I don't know, man. It looked like pretty decent coverage.
He had him in a waist lock, Corey. He had him in a waist lock in front of the official.
Well, it's a spot foul.
Which will give big boost to the QC Crush.
And 1st and goal.
1st and goal, 4:37 left to go. Thomas will roll out to his right, throws it underneath to Hall. Cannot get it to him. It'll be 2nd down.
That's the first time Hall's missed a shot at a catch. Good throw from Keno there. Decent coverage from Desh, but brings up 2nd and goal.
And the clock will continue to run up until the 2-minute warning on all plays going out of bounds or incomplete. We take a look at the replay. And great placement, just not able to haul it in. It was Hall. Well, we've seen him do that expertly throughout this game.
Well, I guess you have to make it a more of an acrobatic situation when you throw it right to the break.
That's fair. Trying to make this a close game here. Trying to make this a 4-point game. The snap. Thomas in trouble, brought down. Ball's popped over to the other guy, the defender. That's a forward pass. He's an eligible throw. Will that count, or will it be an ineligible receiver call? We're trying to see what the play is. Touchdown Crush.
Wow. And that's just keeping the play alive because it was a pass play from the beginning.
And
so when
Demetrius Hall with the catch and ends up with the touchdown.
What is this?
All
right.
Cool. I'm old.
Listen, dance, man. You just did the thing. You did the thing. Now, look, here's the key. He gets the ball
behind
backwards to 40. So now the play is still live.
And he's still behind the line of scrimmage, so he can throw the ball, gets it to Hall, and Hall just has the room to run it in the end zone. That play broken like a game on the Atari Jaguar, but somehow, some way, the QC Crush make the most of it like us on a weekend in 1996. It's 24-20, trying to make this a 2-point game, or they're going for 1, so to make this a 3-point game in a league with no field goals, it's tough sledding here for the QC Crush, who will need to score and then maybe get the get back. Vaughn back in at quarterback. Q Vaughn will throw this one. It's caught by Hall, and Demetrius Hall makes this a 2-point game, 24-22. And you can see the Renegades defenders, hands on the head, the body language not great. The Crush, who were looked at as the underdogs, are 2 points under from turning this one around. All they need to do is get a stop or the get back. When we return, it's the 3-on-1 return that will decide this game or set the stage for the end of it. We will find out what happens next.
We got one on.
Back here on the A7FL Games of the Week, and Keno Thomas has been a standout. And if you want to get yourself a Keno Thomas custom jersey, I know some people who might want to do that after today. Go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. The official uniform provider of the American Sevens Football League is tpg-sports.com, where it's always effort, always over excuses. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond, and Corey, right here, right now, it's time for the most exciting play in football, the 3-on-1 throw-off. Thomas will be the one who throws it off for the Crush. The Renegades need to be stopped behind the 20 for a chance for the Crush to get the ball back. But here's a chance for Kyle Ward one more time. Kyle Ward is stopped behind the 20. The Crush get the get back. The Crush get the get back. Somehow, someway, Kyle Ward, the guy who scored 2 touchdowns on a return today, gets stopped behind the 20. The Crush get the ball and new life with 3:36 and all their timeouts on the clock. Holy bleep, Corey. Holy bleep.
You just erupted in such a violent way. I am not even sure that the viewers and fans at home, listeners at sometimes, got the full extent of the excitement and the exuberance on this play. All Kyle Ward has to do is get one more yard here, but he goes backwards. He goes backwards and gives the opportunity back to the Crush. He had it for his team. They have 1st and 10 with 3:36 left.
Could have just shut the show down now.
Well, listen, this game has come down to one big defensive stop that the Renegades need. And here's the thing. The ruling on the field will be important because he did go backwards, but did he reestablish forward progress after going backwards?
I'm not sure he did.
I think he did. He's the one who went backwards, in my opinion. So when he fights for yardage as he's being tackled, all right, the Crusher ruining my
well, either it's 1st and 10
at quarterback.
Vaughn in, 3:36 left to go. We see the call here.
He's at the 20. Then he goes back. Then he fights forward again. He's fighting for yardage.
He's not. He's stopped.
I don't know.
He was at the 15, though. He was 6 yards away. He went back on his own. He stepped back on his own. QC Crush will keep the ball.
Because he wasn't – the thing is he wasn't forced back.
No.
Yeah, it's absolutely 1st and 10 for the QC Crush. The only mistake they're making, in my opinion, is putting Vaughn at quarterback. Good for him. I hope he does it. It makes a big play.
Keno might be tired. They might just need Vaughn. And Vaughn will throw this one. It'll be out of reach for the intended receiver, and it'll be 2nd down. The clock will continue to run up until the 2-minute warning. And the get back, probably the biggest get back to date in an A7FL playoff game.
I've never seen a get back more important than the one that they just got, and more exciting because who's the player that they did the get back against? It was the guy that has already scored twice on 3-on-1s.
Vaughn with under 3 minutes to go. Vaughn will throw to the sideline. Incomplete. It'll be third down. This is where you get Keno Thomas back in this game. Where is Keno Thomas?
They had Keno. They had him actually. You didn't see him because he was off screen, but they had him in the backstack. So that's actually who Q was throwing the ball to. I think they were trying to give him some space. Problem is when Q Vaughn is the quarterback, he makes the right decision up front. But if it were me, and I'm telling guys what they should have done in retrospect, hindsight being 2020, Vaughn's got to take off. These guys have shown that they don't want to tackle him in the open field, and who knows how many yards he can get. But right now, 3rd and 10, shout out to the Renegades for 2 big stops on the 1st and 2nd down. But
this will be either the last
single moment that the
last play of the before the 2-minute warnings. 3rd and 10. Thomas steps up. Thomas will run. He will throw this one downfield off the hands of his receiver, off the hands of Digi McNear. And we will go to the 2-minute warning with it being 4th and 10. Can the get back give the QC Crush a chance? Will the families and the parents go home happy, or will they find themselves down in the dumps? We'll find out after this. We wrap up this winner go home game after the break. What a game. And if you're wondering, why can't I get on the action? Well, you can. Bring our league to your town. Go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners. Joe Perez, the owner of the Cincinnati division, wants to see the Crush probably with the biggest win in the Ohio division's history. Minute 55, but first they have to get a score. On 4th down, to throw, tossed back. Vaughn, can he keep it moving? Knocked loose, picked back up by Thomas, knocked around again, picked up by the Renegades, bounced around, moves around, ends up back in the hands of the Crush. What is going on? The toss back.
That's a forward pass now. They can't go forward.
They can't go forward, and I have no idea. In the 6 years I've worked at this Fakakta League, that is the wildest thing I have ever seen, and I don't know where that's going to land.
All right, hold on, because if we got to slow this down and make sure the call is right. If the Renegades get possession and they take 2 steps with possession and then fumble the ball back to the Crush,
which is what happened,
it is a 1st and 10 for the Crush because the changed possession. Look, this is where it gets really squirrely, right? And whatever, it's squirrely.
Ball's out.
That's sideways, so that's not, and eventually there's going to be some kind of, but now the ball's loose. Now it's bouncing around. Now it's ridiculous, okay?
It's out again.
What is
1, 2, 3, 4.
That is 1st and...
Oh, my God!
1st and 10 Crush, illegal forward pass after the... I don't know how they're going to rule this.
We need a whiteboard, or we need a thumbtack board, some red string.
Now, there is a penalty, so it's going to be 1st and whatever.
Who is Pepe Silva? Who is Pepe Silva? And that baby is not happy. That baby is angry. That is an angry baby.
Once possession changes and the Renegades have the ball, they give it back up. It's 1st and 10 again for the Crush.
Yeah, Foodie 4 on a7fl.com/chat. Foodie4 said it, and he agrees with you, Corey. So does Real Darius Chat. And the Crush get the ball back after the wildest. This is the wildest drive, quite possibly, of the season, if not of the last decade.
I'll tell you this, Matt. So many teams on that third down play where they have the first down, they have the big play, and the receiver makes the drop. That's it. Wins out of the sails, game over. But guess what? The Crush have come all the way from Ohio to Asbury Park, New Jersey, not for the boardwalk, but for a W in the first round of the A7FL playoffs. Let's see if they can get it.
Thomas, deep. That's incomplete. It'll be second down. Looking for a call as a receiver. Will not get it. Both teams have all their timeouts. Look at that hair. Just look at it. Just look at it flowing in the breeze.
That's what you would paint on the canvas.
Yes.
Right? You have to it's just meta. It's almost like the Norman Rockwell. Okay. Norman Rockwell definitely breaks the record for money in the jar. Number one.
Yes.
Number two. As great as the Crush and as much heart as they've shown in this game, what do they have left in their bag of tricks now? Because every single thing that they could have already done, they have done.
This is
on fourth down, they turn the ball over only to return the ball over on a turnover.
Second and 10. The throw caught by he can't hold on to it. Third down.
Big plays.
The clock should stop. Yeah, the clock stops at 1:22.
Big plays have been made by the Crush all game. Clock's rolling. We got to stop it at 1:22. Big plays have been made by the Crush all game. The last two drops that they've had, the third down was big.
I'm unsure why the clock is continuing the run here when it's the under 2 minutes in the fourth.
So we got to get it right back up to 122.
It was around 122, 124. It's back at 122.
Stopped. And again, now it's 3rd and 10.
Third and
2 incompletions.
Watch the defense is stacked. Thomas tosses it back. They'll keep the momentum forward. They will push ahead and get the first down. Get brought down to the 32, and it will be first down. The clock will continue. They will call timeout. The Crush will call their first timeout with 1:11 or so left to go. 1st and 10. The Crush are driving, Corey Hammond.
And look at the body language of both of these teams. There's a team winning a playoff game in the fourth quarter with 1 minute left, and there's a team that's down, that has been down and out all game and still found a way to get through 3 tacklers and still manage to get the first down on a speed option.
This is one of the wildest playoff games. It's the most unassuming playoff game we've had all season, and it is done like the pretzel episode of The Simpsons. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And we are being honored with an all-time classic of a playoff game that exemplifies everything great and odd about our league.
Well, and look, week 1 of the Northeast playoffs, 38-12 blowout for BIC. 50,000 to nothing blowout by the Animals. Cool. All right. How about the 3-6 game? 32-31 game. Blouses. Watchmen win in a nail-biter. I heard that Quattrell Huffin played one heck of a game that would go down in history if we were able to see it. And now we have been blessed with such a great opportunity to watch both of these teams fight it out with 1:14 left. The Renegades
Thomas
up with dear life.
Throws it incomplete. Thomas cannot get that floater to go. He has been trying so hard. It'll be second down.
I'm going to be honest. The fact that he's not accurate with some of those passes have worked out in their favor because, yes, they've caught a lot of those jump balls, but that one was really dangerous. That's not Digi. That's not Ametrius. That's just some random tight end that hasn't caught one all game. And Keno has to gear in because, in my opinion, to win this game, he's going to have to complete one of these passes. And one of the best throws that I've seen all game was the one that they dropped on 3rd down earlier. But just throw it out. Who cares? It's in the past. We're moving on. 2nd and 10.
Biggest,
It's been their run game that they've really relied on. And let's see if they call it here on 2nd and 10 with 2 timeouts.
looking to put the city on their back. Keno Thomas with under a minute and 11 left to go will run out of play. Moderate gain there, not what you want, but not going backwards. A flag on the play, though.
The flag is going to be interesting because where it was thrown, it looked like holding. I'm not sure if it's holding or not, but that's going to be potentially that's a drive killer is holding in this situation. And if they're tucking Dondre's jersey back, it looks like Will Franklin is going to walk that really hurtful walk back.
Oof.
In the crush.
And it was
offense.
Holding on the offense. A minute 5 left to go. 2 timeouts remain for the crush.
What the defensive line for the Renegades has done is make the adjustment. And what we've seen is that Keno at times has been able to break contain, get outside, then he's on the move. And he's made passes downfield that have been accurate and effective, but he's also been able to get that yardage on the ground. So far in the second half, the Renegades have done an exceptional job keeping Keno from breaking free, and that might be what wins them this game, but still 1:05 and 2 timeouts left, 2nd and 20, still not out yet.
Thomas rolls out. Thomas will run. Keno Thomas will get to the 30-yard line and run out of play. Not enough for the first, but we'll get it to under 1 minute now.
Well, and wisely, what they do is they keep the 2 timeouts. I don't know if Keno could have cut it back and got extra yardage, but honestly, at this point, you're going to go for it on 4th down. So you don't really necessarily, I guess, need the extra 3 or 4 yards because now you're going to have 2 shots at what looks to be approximately 10 getting back to the original line of scrimmage for Keno Thomas. And that time, they did miss on keeping him contained because now what the QC Crush look like they're doing is they only have the 2 offensive line guys, meaning that the Renegades do have a free rusher, which is a really risky proposition on 3rd and 8, but that's what they're going with again.
Thomas on 3rd and 8. That pass gets swatted, so it'll come down to 4th down. That lack of an extra blocker giving everybody agita on the QC Crush sideline as it will be 4th down. And season on the line.
And on the 2nd down, he was able to get free. On the 3rd down, they rush with integrity. They keep him inside the pocket. He has to force an errant throw too early for what he would probably have liked, and he misses because, again, Keno's played an exceptional game, but right now, if he has a choice, he would probably want to run the football.
Thomas, a little flag on the play. Timeout call by the Crush.
Now, you don't necessarily want to waste the timeout, but this is the last play, hypothetically, on offense for their season if they don't make a good play here. So Brent Smothers, the offensive coach, is going to go to his team, see what he can call to make this play work. You're welcome, A7FL fans, friends, and family.
One of the better games we've seen all season, probably the best playoff game we've seen in the first round outside of Watchmen and you.
And shout-outs to the Ohio division in general because a lot has happened in the last 365 days for this Ohio division and where they've been, where they're going. This is a great sign.
Yeah, this is a great indicator.
This is come all the way across the country. They stay overnight, enjoy the shore, but they're bringing a real they're bringing real.
Tell CP3 to get out of the huddle.
Well, he's got purple on. Maybe he's confused. Somehow, some way, somewhere, AC/DC's Hell's Bells is playing in the background.
4th and 7.
And the crowd is super hyped for this 4th.
Season on the line. The snap. Thomas rolls out. Thomas slides through. Can Keno Thomas get met by the Renegade defense? And he is brought down when the bell tolls. It tolled for the Crush. And Keno Thomas, with 49 seconds left, gets leveled by the Renegades.
And after they use that timeout to plan that play, which, in my opinion, it hasn't been working when they go with the 2-man line. But Keno does what he can. He gets by the first. He climbs the pocket, gets from Dondre, but there's nothing he can do because a great play from the defensive line of the Renegades. the heart and soul of their defense. And right now, they are ecstatic. Their first playoff victory since 2021. And again, there's 49 seconds left, but with only one timeout, we're going to take this to the house. Blouses, East Orange Renegades advance, Matt.
In a close and contentious game that came down to the wire, the QC Crush will make that long drive home and not make it back in 2 weeks. But the East Orange Renegades will have to stare down the Trenton BIC. We'll get you prepared for what's next after this. It's the A7FL playoffs. Where else would you rather be? Matt Ryan here, back with you on the A7FL playoffs, live on A7FL.TV, DAZN, and also on Fox Soul, Triller TV Plus, and Fight 24/7.
And what a game, Matt. Shout outs to both of these teams. And if you want to bring this league to your town, A7FL.com/owners, it's up to you. Stop pointing fingers and stop pointing the pointer and point the thumb. It's on you to bring this great version of football to your town, to your state, to your region. Just ask the guys from the QC Crush. That's A7FL.com/owners. A7FL.com/owners. Here's some highlights, Matt.
What a game. And then we're taking a look at first half highlights. The first half was all defense. It was everything stepping up on both sides, on that side of the ball. But in the second half, Corey Hammond, Keno Thomas, and Kyle Ward certainly stepped up for both of their teams.
Yeah, Kyle Ward, and then when the Renegades needed him, service through an absolute dime to Dondre Haynes to get the go-ahead touchdown that ended up being the difference in this game. The QC Crush fought to the end, but listen, we're rehashing plays that were great, and we love them. But we got a little bit of time, Matt. Let's preview next week in the Northeast, in which we have great matchup. Oh, after?
Yeah, June 1st, June 1st is when we're back with the A7FL playoffs. 2 weeks from now, after Memorial Day, we're going to take Memorial Day off. We're going to take some time like everybody else, have some food, have some fireworks, and enjoy our weekend. But when we're back with June 1st, we've got fireworks of the A7FL playoff variety. The Renegades will battle the BIC, and for the third consecutive year, Corey, the Baltimore Watchmen and the Silk City Animals will face off. The winner of that will represent the East in the conference finals. The winner of those games will move on to the Final Four. Will it be the BIC? Will it be the Renegades? Will it be the Watchmen? Will it be the Animals? We find out on June 1st. And Watchmen Animals, Corey, that is a matchup that we have been looking forward to seeing once we saw the playoff bracket and saw that was possible. How can the Watchmen, who won a nail-biter today against the Patterson U at home, they have to travel back up I-95, how will they respond to an Animals team today that seemed more voracious than ever, especially when David Tender returns completely healthy?
Yeah, and that might be the key, but what we learned today about the Animals is it's not just about David Tender, because he was absent in today's performance, missed class. They still got an A+. They still scored high on the test, and they almost scored as many points as you would need on a curve to get that A+. But I think the interesting thing is going to be, when was the last time the Watchmen played a team like the Animals and were the true underdogs? I think it'll be an interesting thing to see them kind of take on that role and how they respond. But it's definitely a rematch weekend, Matt, because in 2 weeks, not only are we going to get the rematch of a regular season win for the Animals and back-to-back playoff losses for the Animals against the Watchmen, but it's also going to be a rematch of maybe one of the best games of the A7FL season. Week 1, BIC Renegades was must-watch TV, unless, unfortunately, I missed a lot of it, because that game came down in overtime to the last throw, a drop in the end zone that would have completely changed up the brackets if BIC loses that game. But as much credit as I want to give the QC Crush, and they deserve a lot, we have to give the Renegades credit for, in a position where maybe they shouldn't have, they figured out a way to pull out the victory. And I think that the flowers need to start and end with Kyle Ward, maybe the most underrated, dominant player in the A7FL.
And he'll get another chance to show that against the BIC in 2 weeks' time. Will we see Mark Bagway? Will we see Deontay Henderson? Will we see a full BIC roster? What will happen on the other side of Memorial Day? The only way to find out is to be a part of the A7FL. And coming up this week, we'll have all the highlights, we'll have all the prognostication, we'll have all the updates, scores, and more on A7FL in motion. So if you want to join me for the fastest 30 minutes in football, keep watch to a7fl.com/watch for information on how to be a part of it live. But for Corey Hammond, for Alex Soberman, our producer, David Soberman, our director, for stats, info, and graphics, Cole Gardella, for highlights in the folderall, Zach Morgan, and for Ryan DePaul running the shop in Asbury Park, I'm Matt Ryan saying enjoy your Memorial Day. In 2 weeks, we go from 8 to 4. It's the A7FL playoffs. Do not miss a moment. The road to Championship 11 starts here, starts now. We will see you next time. So long from the Garden State.